United. With LiveHope today, we are reaching out to all corners of the earth. We united in breathing the same air, that air that has been the very same air that people thousands of years ago have breathed. The same thing with water. The same water that we drink now in 2020 is the same water that was around thousands of years ago, when the African tribes made bread, when the Native American Indians drank out of thirst, when the water was hot. It's the same air and water that ancient Egyptians have used. The Sioux are legendary Native American tribes and First Nations peoples in North America. The term can refer to any ethnic group within the Great Sioux Nation. The modern Sioux consists of two major divisions based on language divisions, the Dakota and Lakota. Today, the Sioux maintain many separate tribal governments, scattered across several reservations, communities, and reserves in North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Minnesota, and Montana in the United States. From notable Sioux, we want, of course, to remember Sitting Bull, famous Lakota chief and holy man, and Crazy Horse, famous Lakota warrior. Crazy Horse is commemorated by the incomplete Crazy Horse Memorial in the Black Hills of South Dakota. Like the nearby Mount Rushmore National Memorial, it is a monument carved out of a mountainside. Upon completion, the head of Crazy Horse will be the world's largest sculpture. The memorial is to be the centerpiece of an educational cultural center. This center will be called the Indian University of North America and the Indian Museum of North America. We are live today at LiveHope to celebrate Earth Day and remind everyone the importance of unity and to be kind to each other.
So to celebrate Earth Day and celebrate Mother Earth, we need to protect her. And another ongoing issue we're facing is justice for Mother Earth, because climate change is real and it affects all people. It's a human issue. It poses a major threat to people as well as all forms of life on this planet. And the impact is being felt disproportionately in vulnerable communities. Climate justice is key in reducing growing inequalities. It's proven by science, and we all have to acknowledge the need for equitable stewardship of the world's resources. So it's up to us to protect her and fight for her. And everyone living should be helping with this ongoing issue.
I'm excited to be a part of the Eco-Conscious Music Alliance supporting LiveHope. The Eco-Conscious Music Alliance mobilizes positive change through music. Our projects include climate action, community sustainability projects, pandemic response, and online concerts. Join the movement at ema.earth. Thanks so much for joining us today. My name is Jackie Vincent. It's been really incredible to see what we're willing to do for our own humanity, you know? So that's the silver lining, and it gives me a lot of hope. Join me now by donating to LiveHope. This song is called Make Me Feel.
So now the story goes, I fall in love, floating free in outer space. I'm always falling. Day by day I'm in the clouds, my faith is blinding. Even though I know it's love, you feel good. You make me feel so good. Yeah. Don't know what I do without you. You make me feel so good. Yeah. And I never wanna be without you in my life. I don't care what they say. Baby, till the end, I will go my way. Yeah. And I will see. Yeah. I'm afraid that I'm gonna and I will have it. I'm ready, will guide the way. He has lifted his hand to me. I will do the same. Walk with him, walk with him, with him, walk with him, walk with him.
Happy Earth Day, everyone! Woo! What a beautiful day! Thank you so much for all being here. And I don't just mean in this physical realm, I mean in an energetic, emotional, mental, spiritual, and an environmental way. There's so much more to life than our physical form. And I'm here to share with you today experiences of my journey and how it's led me to be where I am right now. My name is Kelly Kingston and I am from Brisbane, Australia, and I welcome you to my world for the next few minutes. I was asked to speak about either the coronavirus today or the earth. And so I've actually chosen to speak about the earth that we walk on every single day, the earth that we land on every single day, the earth that we build our houses on every single day, the the earth that holds us and the earth that supports grounding us. A little while ago, I'm going to go back probably about 15, 16 years, I had a lady come to me. I just separated from a really toxic relationship. And she said, Kelly, you have so much magic inside of you. You just are everywhere. You're doing this, that, and the other, and you're here, there, and everywhere. And I'm just like, I feel that. I feel like I'm everywhere, but I'm not with myself. And I didn't understand that at that particular point in time. And I asked the question. I'm like, I don't understand that. What does that mean? And she didn't answer me. She says, it's not my question to answer. And so that really puzzled me. So I then continued on my journey of not understanding different things, but feeling so many energies, people's energies, earth energies, universal energies, so much. And I wasn't raised in a family that, understood all these stuff. So, and that's what it was to me at the time. It was just stuff. So I endeavored on reading and researching a whole heap of different things and meeting some amazing, beautiful people along the way. And what has led me to where I am currently today is believing in myself. Believing that I am the most powerfulest person on the face of this planet for who I am in my true physical identity space right now. Okay, it's not emotional, it's not mental, it's not spiritual, it's physicality. And then once I understood the physicality aspect of who I am, everything else kind of came like, oh my gosh, yes, okay, I think I already knew that, but I wasn't too sure about knowing it when somebody asked me a question. So landing and grounding on the earth, what is that? And how do we do that? So this is what I do daily, and I don't hop under my pyramid on a day-to-day basis, but I do hop under it quite regularly. So there's energies that have come into our planet since 2000. I was speaking to an Indigenous Native American Indian called Lakota John about 10 years ago. And he gave me some very, very precious documentation, which I'm going to go through with you in a little while. And it tells us that the photon belts of our universe are bringing in large amounts of energy. And this is sporadic through our day, through our week, and through our month. And some people can handle these energies, and some people just cannot handle these energies. And they're going to check out whether they check themselves out or whether it's by accident or not. They're just going to do whatever they feel that they need to do at that particular point in time. What I feel I need to do at that particular point in time, when I have huge amounts of energies, whether it's coming in through the tops of my head, whether it's coming in through my heart, whether it's coming in through my gut, or whether it's coming in through my feet or any other areas of my body, is I need to be grounding. And how I do that is I get out on Mother Earth. I get out, I put my bare feet on the ground, and I start walking around, and I start doing aspects of mantras, and these mantras can be anything that you feel from your heart that you want to say. It could be a positive mantra to yourself. You might be going through some troubled times, or you might be in situations that you don't like finding yourself in, and you can just repeat anything that you like that supports you in any way, shape, or form. Okay, what I like to do is I like to protect myself, and I like to ground myself. So I come out and I love to sing a song. And this little song is something that I teach my children, and I'm going to share it with you right now. And it is: every little cell in my body is happy, every little cell in my body is well. Every little cell in my body is happy, every little cell in my body is well. I'm so glad every little cell in my body is happy and well. I'm so glad every little cell in my body is happy and well. And so when I need to ground myself and really regroup and gather and know that I am safe and where I need to be right now, that song is just a song that makes my heart sing from the inside out and the outside in. And it helps me raise my frequency, my energetic field, so that I then can claim back my power in going, okay, now I'm grounded. I'm going to make some really, clear, precise decisions on what I do next. Okay, because sometimes when we get flustered and we're in an unforeseen circumstances, or the territory that we find ourselves in is not, we just don't know, and we don't know what we don't know, and that's fine. So when we find ourselves in unforeseen situations, like energetic situations that are well beyond our realm and our control of what energies come into us, but what we do have control over is how we handle them. Okay, some of these energies that are coming in are giving us headaches. They're making us have anxiety. They are making us have diarrhea, and some of us are vomiting. These things, these symptoms that are happening to us, can possibly be, and I'm not suggesting that they always are, but from an energetic perspective and from my opinion and from my journey, when I had cycles of huge energy coming my way, I would find myself having these symptoms. And there was absolutely nothing wrong with me. It was just time, detoxification of the body coming through different energy cycles. Okay, and so if you are experiencing these things and you know that there's nothing wrong with you, I want you to reach out to me, and I've got a whole heap of documents about, extreme tiredness, excessive energy, crying for no reason, feeling emotional and vulnerable, hot flushes, muscle aching, joints aching, and there's some really, really, really huge wisdom here that we can then take away with us, and really step into our spiritual journey of why we are currently here on earth at this particular point in time. I have also created a business model so that if you're wanting to start a business and you are highly spirited and you find it really, really hard to ground yourself and your business, I have created 13 chapters and 13 chakra systems that align with each other through 13 processes through my book, and it's guided by 13 mantras. Now, the 13 mantras support you from getting out of your head and into your heart, so you can create a heart-centered business that totally resonates with you for your life purpose, and that serves the passion that you have that's growing inside of you uncontrollably. And so when we have the structures and the foundations set from the Mother Earth, from Mother Gaia, okay, we are grounding the reality of our business. We are grounding the reality of who we are and who we want to be on this planet. So I thank you so much for being here with me today. And I hope that you have an absolutely amazing day. And if you ever find yourself that you're in a situation where it is, not serving you, or whatever situation, you always have the power to turn things around. We have the power of choice, the choice from within. So hold that and grow and grow as big and as strong as you can possibly be, so that you can then share your story and your journey with the world. Thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye for now.
Together it can be done. Oh, together all as one.
We hope you're enjoying this live with LiveHope, and we want to make sure that everybody is connected, and we are so excited to have all these artists from all around the world sharing their time, their talent, their messages here on LiveHope. Today we're celebrating Earth Day, and we want to make sure that Earth Day is going to be every day. We create a lifestyle where everyone respects the planet and respects each other, where we spread kindness. We want also to remind you that we're here today to help the healthcare workers from all around the world to receive the necessary protective gear. So please donate to www.livehopefestival.com.
So here we are, uplifting Indigenous voices and Indigenous talent. This next segment, I'm very proud and honored to introduce.
We're very excited to remind you also that you can donate not only going on our website, www.livehopefestival.com, but also texting the word HOPE to the number 1619-8701-680. We are celebrating Earth Day, and we want to make sure that the message of oneness comes across today. We want to make sure that we create a global tribe where everybody is connected. We make sure that also we take care of our planet, and we want to be living in harmony with all the animals and all the plants and everything on Earth. We want to create a new world. This pandemic created a problem, but also made us aware of the importance of being united. We apologize for the sound, so we make sure that the sound is going to come back. We've been many hours live with you because we want to make sure that this message come across. We want to entertain you, and we are so grateful for all the people from all around the world that donated their time, their talent, their smile, their message to bring you joy and the message of unity and positivity and respect for the planet. I want to remind you again that you can help doctors and nurses from all around the world.
So here we are, uplifting Indigenous voices and Indigenous talent. This next segment, I'm very proud and honored to introduce is my relative, my uncle Natani Means. And he's a young, new, upcoming artist. You should definitely look into him and buy his music coming out. He and his friend Anton Edwards have a late night show live on Instagram called Tone and Tani's Tea Time. So you definitely need to tune in. They hold contests every night and showcase Native artists of all sorts. You can win prizes. You can get some good laughs in. You can tell stories. Every night is a different night, and it's all fun. And you definitely need to tune in to have a good time. I'm so proud of these guys. They've come a long way. Definitely proud of my uncle Natani. So take it away, Natani.
Hello there, my name's Sara Tump. I'm from Bundaberg, Queensland, Australia. Thank you, Kelly, for this opportunity, and happy Earth Day. What does Earth Day mean to me? Well, I'm a Taurus, so I'm an earth element. So the earth is very much my home. There's quite a lot of times where I actually don't feel connected to the earth. And I think that's due to fighting my purpose on earth. And my purpose on this earth is to be a light worker. And that means, to me, it is me going through my personal lessons, me being accountable for my own karma and my own healing, so being responsible for it. So if I'm actually being triggered by something, rather than push it down, I'm actually going to address it and seek healing for that. A lot of my healing is self-prompted, but there are lots of healers out there, and what I actually do promotes spiritual healing and alternative methods. So what I would like to share with you today is that when we all start to be our authentic selves and we honor that and we really step into our own power and we voice who we are without fear and with resurrection and with courage and bravery, then we should be prepared to receive it. And I did this yesterday. I actually had a meeting with someone, and my careers have been evolving over the years, and it's in the medias. And I actually spoke up to a complete stranger and said the morals that and the people that I wanted to be around and why I wanted to do it. And I didn't know this person from a bar of soap, and I didn't know if they were spiritual either. So for me to actually, on a first meeting, to be authentic and to own who I was in that moment didn't feel like anything, but it took me quite a few hours to digest the meeting and me being true to myself. By me being true to myself, it actually meant that I felt good after it. And she actually then opened herself up and said that she loved what I was trying to do and wished more people were like that. And I think in a world where there's so many copycats and so many people trying to be like this famous person and this famous person, we can never be anyone else. We can only ever be our true selves. And I think that's what the earth needs at the moment. If you're a light worker like I am, you work with energies, you're a healer, stop hiding yourself away and be who you are. You don't have to go on and preach to people about what you do and force them to do it. But sometimes just saying one little sentence or one little word can change people's perspectives. And that's all what I'm about. I'm about trying to walk my talk. This is like my maybe third or fourth go at recording this, because I was just going blah, 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 blah. And it didn't make sense, but that was because I wasn't sure what I wanted to talk about. And I guess I am being guided now, and I just wanted to talk about authenticity and being who we are, And when we are who we are, gives others the courage to be who they are as well. So in my line of work, I'm very much about showing people the traumas, but also showing them how that they can actually overcome that and turn that into triumph. So that will be through spiritual healing, alternative therapists, and actually, you know, really grounding what we're doing and being responsible and being kind. So yes, I'm not sure if there's anything else I would like to say other than just be your own bad, good self, you know, because we are in a polar universe, and I think that with all the energies that are coming down at the moment, so yes, I have more to say right now. It seems like it's rolling. This is me being my authentic self, being caught off guard by my guides. There's a lot of Lemurian and Atlantis energy coming through at the moment, and that's why we're all feeling all of this energy at the moment. And it's basically bringing us back to resurrection and to where we need to be. But we need to understand that while Lemuria was a place of love and light, there wasn't any polarity there. So on this earth, we actually have a lot more opportunity to experience that polarity and accept who we are, and, you know, go through that juxtapositions and those fluctuations, because that's just why we're here. So anyway, I'm going to leave it at that because I'm just rambling now, and that's okay. That's who I am when I get nervous. I'm Sara Tump, and I'm a filmmaker in Bundaberg, Queensland. My first documentary, Bones of Women, the documentary, I'm hoping to have globally distributed either on, you know, Netflix, Stan, whoever, ABC, SBS, Gaia TV, FM TV. And Bones of Women is very spiritual based. So it's about two strangers that meet in a cafe. I have a live audience. They cannot see the women. They can only hear the women. So what I've actually done is removed their appearance. So they're only connecting to the women's story. And these women go through the trauma of what they've been through and each step that they went through to get to the triumphant stage. So yes, I'm Sara Tump from Bundaberg, Queensland. I'm a filmmaker, and Bones of Women is my first documentary. And I hope to create a lot more spiritual content out there, being true to me and unique that hasn't been seen before. So yep, that's me. Thank you. Happy Earth Day. Love to you all. Bye.
As with most cultures, you can learn a great deal about the Maori by studying their creation stories. The Maori say that Earth, Papa, and Sky, Rangi, originally embraced so tightly that in order for their children, all earthly beings, to have lives, they had to be pried apart. A deed accomplished by ancestors of the magnificent kauri tree. Laurie wrote about this a few days ago. John Patterson, a New Zealand philosopher, interprets the story this way in his very readable and insightful book, People of the Land. The children of earth and sky are closely confined between their parents, shut off from the light and unable to grow. So the children take the drastic step of separating their parents, creating an open environment in which they can flourish. All creatures are the descendants of these original parents and their imprisoned children, so that we are bound to the planet and to all creatures by ties of kinship and must accept the associated responsibilities. But on the other hand, we sometimes have to follow the example of the first children of earth and sky and treat our kin badly in order to flourish ourselves. This creation story provides the basis for Maori philosophy. All creatures are kin. All beings have Maui, life force, and all are sacred, tapu. The Maori's original instructions follow from this seemingly simple story. People must respect all beings and relate to them in a proper ritual manner, always aware of our mutual interdependencies and always seeking harmony. Yet we also must live, and sometimes this requires us to have vigorous relations, Patterson's term, such as killing and eating our kin, other creatures, as long as we do so in the proper ritual manner. That includes being sure that proper ecological balances are respected. The concept of mana is at the center of Maori philosophy. Your mana depends on the spark of life you are born with and your choices and action. But the mana of each being is fundamentally determined by relationships, both with those living and with your ancestors. When we were greeted by each Maori tribe we visited, the greeting they sang to us and our sung response was mainly about our ancestors. And as we were greeted individually in the hongi head, touching ceremonies, they were welcoming the ancestors we carried. This deep, ritualized, and self-conscious awareness of our interconnectedness to all beings is found in many indigenous traditions. See, for example, the Apache version of this in Cordova's House It Is, and also in the Buddhist notion of dependent origination. If everyone and everything is kin, and if our original instructions are to preserve and enhance harmony, then being welcoming and hospitable is much more than a quaint formality we trot out on holidays. It is essential. Lori and I were overwhelmed at the genuine and incredibly warm welcome we received throughout our week among the Maori from 5 different tribes. We were also taken aback at the power of continually acknowledging ancestors. Egotism is very difficult to maintain in an atmosphere of constant reminders of all who brought us here, those who make our lives possible today, and those who will follow after us. Think about it. What if our status, mana, was based on how well we paid attention to all our relationships, living and dead?
So another reason why we're here, to not only elevate awareness, but to talk about this new shift in life and this new life we're living. And it's causing a global reset in our economic system. Everyone's having to stay home, nobody's shopping, consumerism is low. There's a whole new way of life that we're living and making a lot of changes in our life that we're not used to. I know one thing that's changed for me is having to stay home all the time and work from home and managing my home life, managing my girls, becoming a teacher while having to work, while also providing 3 meals a day. So, I mean, not only are we full-time parents and working full-time, we're full-time teachers, and it's just creating a whole new shift in our lifestyle. And it's causing chaos for some, but some of us, it is kind of nice to stay home and spend time with our loved ones. So I know it's a huge change in everyone's life. So
I ain't seen the stars in a week. Cali fire's got it smoked out, can't see. Children stripped at the border, how can this be? They just want a piece of land just to go and grow a seed. Family colors like you and me. If we can strap at them all overshoot peace, we can march on the front line for that new peace. Lyrics always meant to teach the blind, that's what I see. I'm organic in the hood, innovative culture. Water's hella foggy, city pockets full of flint. No solar panels in the hood, still paying rent. And the kids get sick, and that's a fact. And the feds still getting paid for all of that. How you supposed to grow in dirty water? I'm in the garden growing for my daughters. Water's like plant a seed and follow. Chemtrails cause fires in the West, spray all over the hood. Never thought that you could be good. Now the sheriff said you gotta move. They wanna build a highway in. There ain't nothing you can do, I'm telling. It's like a jungle sometimes. I see him killing the trees, corrupt land with the foreign disease, displacing animals. That makes it harder to breathe. Make you fall to your knees, reminisce of the beast. Before you sit down, break it all for directions. Using food stamps in the produce section. Get some land, harvest water, keep it moving. It's eye for an eye, and they got to show me proving. See me manifest the heat, hold the heat in the night. Hopefully, roll tight, eat fresh, eat right. Watch what you say now, watch what you do. Watch what you say now, watch what you do. Yeah.
What does Earth Day mean to me? Hi, I'm Deb Norman from the Quantum Blueprint, and as a psychological astrologer, Earth Day to me means how are we evolving in a way that supports Mother Earth? See, Mother Earth is a living, breathing sphere. She has an innate intelligence all of her own. She has the ability to create life, and Mother Earth thinks with her own consciousness. So if she thinks thoughts of how she can fully express life and create and sustain, we evolve. Our beings, our human self, as a projection or a holograph from the thinking of Mother Earth, become inhabitants of her area, her space that she provides for us. Now, as an expression of source of all that is, the consciousness that created everything from the spheres to all life also started with a thought. It also started with creation and imagination of how can I be more than I am now. So when we mix the vibrations of source thinking and then its thoughts thinking, we then have us in form having a human experience so that we can expand more on what we can possibly imagine and feed that back to the collective. So Mother Earth is an extremely important part of our evolution, and without her ability to evolve herself into higher vibrations as new codes coming from the universe, she's not able to sustain the life that we are being given. Now, as an astrologer, first thing I look at is the charts of a day, because I love the concept of as above, so below, meaning that all the planetary spheres, all that is out there in the universe, is a reflection of us. and weave them. Now I'd like to have a quick look back at August in 2019 when we had the droughts and the fires began. When I look at the chart for that day, I see Saturn, the South Node, and Pluto in Capricorn, all retrograde in the 12th house. Now the 12th house is the collective, it's the subconscious, it's where we dream up our reality. And when we put the South Node there and other planets in retrograde, it means that we haven't learnt our lessons. We have not learnt how to become conscious. We're still creating the same loop or the same patterns of behavior that have been encoded into our DNA from many, many thousands of years ago. We're still getting tangled up in the web of our own negative thinking that creates like a locked room where we're unable to get out of this matrix because we have sewn up so much networking, so many different webs of thinking that we're literally looping around in circles, which is why history keeps repeating itself. I believe that the reason that we keep repeating the same mistakes is because we're stuck in this matrix, this loop of negative thinking, and we're just repeating old patterns, same stuff, different day kind of attitude. And when I look at the chart, that's what I see happening. And with Pluto here, we know that there's going to be a lot of destruction. There is going to be a burning out, which I believe was the Earth's energetic representation of what was going on with us unconsciously. It was attempting to burn out the old to bring in and rebirth the new energies so that we can learn to take responsibility around conscious thinking, that we can send that back to the collective instead of consistently looping in a negative time frame. Now, everything that we send out into the field, all our unconscious and unprocessed pain, belief systems, drama, trauma, is reflected in the earth. So all the disasters and events that are happening on the earth, I truly believe are just a mirror effect and a reflection of what is going on within us. So it's imperative that we all heal our stuff, that we all get to our core emotional self and remember who we are. I believe that most people have forgotten who and what they are, and that they are afraid of the change. They're afraid of what might happen. And I know change can be scary because it's uncertain, but it's the uncertainty, and it's going deep within, back into that dark space, back into the womb of creation, back into other dimensions where it is a blank canvas, where we can recreate a far better expression of who and what we are. So I would like to offer a couple of ideas around things that I've done to bring myself into more of a conscious way of being, because many, many years ago I was extremely unconscious and I experienced a lot of negativity in order to bring about that burning out and rebirth. So what I usually do with my clients and my students is I get them to connect to the earth. I get them to ground, grow roots deep down into the core, where they can connect those roots with the consciousness of Mother Earth, where they can tie themselves around the grid and feed their base chakra all that beautiful love, light and energy and knowledge that comes from her. Then I get them to connect up to the universe and to connect to all the planets, using each chakra to just branch out, connect to a planet, whichever one intuitively you feel drawn to, and draw on that energy and ask for updated downloads that will support you in moving through this energetic change that we're having now. Because one way or another, this is going to happen, and we can either be conscious and supportive within it, or we can go into resistance and fight it, which is going to make things very unpleasant. Either way, Mother Earth needs to sustain herself in life, and she absolutely loves us, and she's here to support us and help us to experience and express and experiment everything we can think of and imagine to send back to the collective for even greater experiences. So I'd like to thank you all today for joining us. And I'm just really excited about the new energies that are coming in. And I ask everybody just to put aside 5 minutes a day, go out into the earth, sit in amongst her, talk to the trees and the plants. They can hear you, they can feel you. And ask them to support you, because we are all connected. We're all from the one source, which means we are all just different thoughts and expressions of the one I am presence. And Mother Earth is our gift so that we can express and feel in this human experience. So thank you again for joining me. I'm Deb from the Quantum Blueprint, and you can visit my website at www.thequantumbp.com.au, or you can check out our Instagram, which is the_quantum_blueprint, all in lowercase. And there will be links on those pages where you can check out our member pages, where we talk about the earth and vibration and energy and us as a consciousness, and we all learn and grow together. And you can also check out our other sites that we have, where we give a lot of free content and information to help support everybody on their journey right now. Thank you again for joining me, and happy Earth Day.
We've been sharing facts and story and philosophies from cultures from all around the world. We spoke about the Sioux tribe, the Native American Indians. We spoke about the Maori culture. And now I want to talk about a very prominent philosophy of one of the most famous African tribes, the Maasai. The Maasai is one you can see behind me. They have a very philosophical story that I want to share with you. It's the Maasai oral tradition. The Maasai developed an oral tradition which reinforced their own view that they were the only pure pastoralists in East Africa. The stories essentially identify the Maasai as superior in all ways to other tribes, especially hunters, Dorobo, and agriculturalists, who had to perform such undignified tasks as digging the soil. One such tale tells the consequences of the Dorobo people ignoring a message from God to await his gift of cattle. They do not turn up as instructed and consequently lose out to the Maasai. The story is quoted here from Carton's African History. God let down a bark rope from the sky and began to let cattle down, until there were so many that they are intermingled with those of the Dorobo. Then the Dorobo came, and when he could no longer recognize his cattle among those of the Maasai, he was angry and shot away the bark rope with an arrow. God caused the cattle to stop descending, and he moved up into the sky and was never seen on the ground again. Those all cattle which Maasai now own were first given to them by God. I want to remind you that we're here today to celebrate Earth Day and to raise money for doctors and nurses from all around the world. So please go to our website and donate to www.livehopefestival.com.
So here we are, uplifting Indigenous voices and Indigenous talent. This next segment, I'm very proud and honored to introduce is my relative, my uncle Natani Means. And he's a young, new, upcoming artist. You should definitely look into him and buy his music coming out. He and his friend Anton Edwards have a late night show live on Instagram called Tone and Tani's Tea Time. So you definitely need to tune in. They hold contests every night and showcase Native artists of all sorts. You can win prizes. You can get some good laughs in. You can tell stories. Every night is a different night, and it's all fun. And you definitely need to tune in to have a good time. I'm so proud of these guys. They've come a long way. Definitely proud of my uncle Natani. So take it away, Natani.
Hi, I'm Hope Medford coming to you barefoot on Earth Day. Many of you all know me from playing percussion with Nako and Medicine for the People. Today, I'm excited to collaborate with the Eco-Conscious Music Alliance to support LiveHope. The Eco-Conscious Music Alliance mobilizes positive change through music and community sustainability projects. Now is a crucial time to activate and make a change both in our own lives and globally. Join the movement at ema.earth and feel free to donate to LiveHope now. I'm about to share with you a new song. You're going to be the first to hear it. Here goes. Come to the holy place where I can find some peace. Sun shining on my face. Give what you can and hold what you need. Come to the holy place where I can find some truth. Sun shining on my face. I can be me and you can be you. Devotion, emotion, one drop in the ocean. Mystery, divinity, brought into reality. We know we're shown. All in the universe is made of living energy. We're not alone. One love, one light. Together we make synergy. Come to the holy place where we can find some peace. Sun shining on my face. Give what you can and hold what you need. Come to the holy place where I can find some truth. Sun shining on my face. I can be me and you can be you. Come to the holy place where I can find some peace. Sun shining on my face. Give what you can and hold what you need. Devotion, emotion, one drop in the ocean. Mystery, divinity, brought into reality. Moment by moment, caught up in the movement. Stand up, stand down, God is turning all around. We know we've grown. Master of this temple, love inside us trembles. We're not alone. Working hard as rebels, serving sacred vessels. Come to the holy place where we can find some peace. Sun shining on my face. Give what you can and hold what you need. Come to this holy place where we can find some truth. Sun shining on my face. I can be me and you can be you. Come to this holy place where we can find some peace. Sun shining on my face. Give what you can and hold what you need. You can be you I'm Hope Medford, and happy Earth Day, y'all. Peace.
I've begun to see this differently. When it comes to survival and sustainability, there's only one story for the human species, and we're all in this together. All our problems are interrelated. Far from being mysterious, they're actually the logical outcomes of the type of economic system that we've created. And this also seems to point toward the solution. We know when we see a forest, a lake, the ocean, a natural river system, the atmosphere, that it's more valuable than computers, cars, or airplanes, which are valuable for a short time, but then become trash and pollution. Natural systems are renewable. They've evolved over billions of years, and they are infinitely valuable. Now, the global economy values production and consumption. And although few understand it, speculation. This has suggested the finite derivatives shaped from the Earth's natural systems are somehow more valuable than the infinitely renewable systems themselves. This is simply wrong. We need to admit that we made this mistake. If we were to truly value natural systems, then nature would become the basis of our money and our economy. To protect nature then would not be a luxury, but a necessity. This brings us much closer to the truth because we must have water, air, and fertile soils. But we just want computers, cars, and airplanes. We can change. It will not be easy, but we can and we must do it. If we are thoughtful and do the right thing, then we can consciously transition to a new paradigm in which human actions and the natural environment are in harmony.
It seems that we need a different approach. How does the Venus Project approach this?
If you really wish to bring an end to war, poverty, hunger, and most crimes, what we have to do eventually through education is declare all of the Earth's resources as the common heritage of all the world's people. What we would like to do is update our system so that it fits the new technology.
Would the election of people with higher moral content solve the problem?
No, because even if we succeeded in electing people of unquestionable moral character, if we ran out of resources, there'd be lying, cheating, stealing, and artificialities. It isn't moral character that we need. It's the intelligent management of the Earth's resources. The real future depends on our ability to solve scarcity problems, overcome those problems through our own creative ingenuity.
What is a resource-based economy? And how does that compare with a monetary-based economy?
In a monetary-based economy, we use money as a medium of exchange. Now, money doesn't represent our capacity to produce. It just represents a method designed hundreds of years ago and established within the system. In the monetary-based system, it's wealth, property, and power. And that's the main directive. Now, today we say, how much will it cost? That is really the question. The real question is, do we have the resources to build that kind of project? Yes, we do. Do we have the money? No, we don't. But we have more than enough resources available to build anything we want to build. If you have difficulty with that, consider this. Suppose all the money in the world disappeared tomorrow morning. As long as there are farms, water, building material, we can build anything we want to build. It isn't money that people need. It's access to resources. In other words, it was necessary 100 years ago to use a monetary system for the distribution of products. Today, we have the technology to make those things available. What are we chiseling off each other for? A resource-based economic system does not use money, barter, trade, or any of the older systems that were prevalent. It's based on designing a culture that fits in with the carrying capacity of the world's resources. Anything else other than that will not work.
What do you desire? What makes you itch? What sort of a situation would you like? Let's suppose, I do this often in vocational guidance of students. They come to me and say, well, we're getting out of college and we haven't the faintest idea what we want to do. So I always ask the question, what would you like to do if money were no object? How would you really enjoy spending your life? Well, it's so amazing. As a result of our kind of educational system, crowds of students say, well, we'd like to be painters, we'd like to be poets, we'd like to be writers, but as everybody knows, you can't earn any money that way. Or another person says, well, I'd like to live an out-of-doors life and ride horses. I say, do you want to teach in a riding school? Let's go through with it. What do you want to do? When we finally got down to something which the individual says he really wants to do, I will say to him, you do that. And forget the money. Because if you say that getting the money is the most important thing, you will spend your life completely wasting your time. You'll be doing things you don't like doing in order to go on living, that is, to go on doing things you don't like doing, which is stupid. And so, therefore, it's so important to consider this question. What do I desire?
Hey, hi. Hope you're doing well. So I'm not super dressed up for this because I forgot I had this song, because here's the thing about what's happening in my life right now. I have no concept of time. Is it May or October? I took the trash cans out at 9.
The trash doesn't come for 5 more days.
But the collection, it was over. It's this morning.
No, we missed it last week.
No! She said TGIF because she thought that it was Friday. But there are still 2 days left. And Wednesday is a dry day. This new life, it's confusing our brain. Our kids missed their online classes again. I've got a FaceTime, it's yesterday at 5. Wait, that can't be right. I wanna know what day it is. I thought it was Thursday, yeah. I wanna know what day it is. 'Cause they're all getting Blu-ray. She made a really yummy guac, 'cause Taco Tuesday is a better day. So imagine Mommy's shock when we told her it was Saturday. We all dressed up really nice for family pics on Easter Sunday. But I think we may have disappointed Jesus Christ, because we missed it and it's Monday. It's my life. I don't know the day or the hour. I don't know when I last took a shower. I just worked a full day, but my boss didn't call alright. Oh wait, it's Sunday night. Oh, what a waste. Yeah. I wanna know what day it is. I got this confusion. I don't know what day it is because of all this seclusion. I don't know what day it is. Maybe you can tell me. I mean, I know you can't come over and physically tell me because of the quarantine. So maybe an idea is that you just like from across the street, you come over and yell it at me. Just come over and yell at me.
You just want any interaction.
Just anybody, anything.
Just anybody interact with you, though.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think it's time for me to take a shower.
Yeah, it probably time.
Bye. You take the elevator downstairs. I'm so bored. No!
Sorry, guys.
Hi, I think everyone knows by now that the way we've organized the world in structures, rules, and our thinking about it is not sustainable. So, how can we create a world where we start thinking into the future and acting as if we would love to have one? Another thing is about our current economical model is very strange. If the economy collapses, people go hungry. While there's enough food, enough materials, enough distribution possibilities, enough people willing to work, but the money is gone, therefore we can't do it. Can we change that? So, in order to change that, we have to look on a wider perspective in many fields. If you work in a job and you can't leave because you're afraid, then you're a prisoner of a system that's destructive. Governments start thinking about basic income so that people can walk away out of destructive jobs that either destroy people, destroy the planet, or is totally feel senseless. I mean, why sell more plastics? Now that we're all inside with Corona, I notice I don't miss shopping at all. And I think many people don't want to go back to shopping to fill empty lives. Economy. How come ravaging the planet is being rewarded? Cutting down forest is rewarded. Replanting is a cost. All the citizens pay for the cleanup of the pollution that those corporations make. How is it that if I want to replant a forest, I need to gather and work hard to get funds for something that's extremely valuable but doesn't pay? And why do get bankers who get people out of their houses and then the banks own them get huge bonuses? I would say something is wrong there, so we need a new economical system. And gaming world, if people are inventing new economical models and systems, why aren't you making, when you create alien worlds and alien societies, also alien economies, alien economical models where the rules of change are very different? What about a gift economy where if you're not sharing enough, you're a baddie? And if you are hoarding, you're a baddie. And if you, the more you give away, the more people start to help you and support you. Wouldn't that be interesting? Try it out in a massive multi-online gamer platform.
Good morning, my beautiful people. Today, I was ready to slaughter this pineapple. It looks very healthy. And I was thinking exactly that about our health. Why, now that this virus is around, we are so afraid and so concerned about our health, and we don't do the same thing in the rest of our life? And we continue intoxicating ourselves with alcohol, smoking. Many people take drugs. We don't exercise. We eat whatever we find around, and we eat junk food. And we don't take care of ourselves. We don't take care about our psychology. We don't take care about our mental health. We think that we are here forever, and we don't live our life like healthy, strong people that we are meant to be by the nature. Our natural condition is not to be sick, tired, and in bad psychology. So, yes, I think that we must start thinking after this, after all this goes. We maybe have to think a little bit different about our lifestyle and what we really want to do in life, and how we want our condition to be like, and do the necessary changes, because it has many things we have to change to achieve this new healthy, strong self. So that was the today's message. And of course, I want to send a lot of love and many, many kisses.
Who here remembers around 2006 watching a movie called An Inconvenient Truth? Yeah, I do. I absolutely remember that movie so well. I was so drawn to it. And the reason I was drawn to it is because it really created the awareness of what we were doing to our planet. I remember clearly at that time taking my little girls, who are now 21 and 18, and they were very little at that time, and doing our part to make an impact in this planet. I remember door knocking, grabbing them, and they were so proud, ambassadors as well, and knocking from door to door to door to wake people up and to remind them to reduce their waste and to reduce the electricity that they were having, that they were using, so that we could reduce our footprint. Because what I know is we are so blessed to live on this gorgeous planet. Mother Nature is actually absolutely thriving right now because we don't have the cars, we don't have the emissions at the moment, and she's absolutely celebrating with giving us nice growth and trees and beautiful flowers. But if we continued and we weren't conscious and we didn't wake up and do some things to change, that would be a distant memory. What if we could come together and do some simple changes that could really make a difference, so this beautiful planet that we've grown accustomed to could be around for generations and generations and generations to enjoy? Would that be something that you could be interested in? Thought so. So I'm going to share with you some simple tips that you can do just in your everyday that can absolutely help make a difference for our planet, so that it is around for future generations to enjoy. One big thing that absolutely does clog up our planet is plastic bottles and plastic straws. So just by being aware of this and replacing your plastic bottles with bottles that you can reuse time and time again. I love this bottle because it has a little container down the bottom where you can squeeze. It's got a little juicer where you can squeeze your different fruits and stuff like that, whatever you enjoy, in the bottom. And it goes through your water and it infuses in it. So you've got that for your whole day. So rather than just drinking normal water, you've got this fruit infused water. I've used watermelon, I've used blueberries, I've had, citrus, kiwi fruit, you name it, I've had it in the bottle. So it's a really nice way to really enjoy water, because we do need to be drinking a lot more, but having the plastic bottles is clogging up our planet. So that's just one thing. Also replacing our straws, our plastic straws, into straws just like this. We can get bamboo or steel straws as well. Some of these products are available that I'm going to be talking to you about are going to be available on organica.net.au, which is our online affiliate marketplace for low toxic, natural and safety products. You can go on there and have a look at some of these things, because there's been so many incredible entrepreneurs that have created solutions for today's problems. And there's a lot of people out there that are coming up with solutions for these problems so that we can sustain our planet. You can go on there if you've got if you are a merchant or you are a business owner, and you want to be able to showcase your products and come in with the collaboration. You can register your interest on organica.net.au, or maybe you want to be a customer and have the availability to have all these incredible products on there, which anything that goes in on around your body is pretty well on there, plus services as well. So it's a really awesome community and environment to be part of. Or perhaps if you're at home and you'd like to find a way to make additional income while you are at home, particularly during this time in COVID, when many of us have lost our jobs and are waiting and sitting at home, just by directing people to the website, and for absolutely every single sale, you'll be rewarded as well in appreciation for helping the merchants get their products out to the world. It is a global platform, so I invite you to have a look at that as well. So moving on from that, other different things that we need to be aware of is our lights and unnecessary use of electricity. So just have a look around, go for a walk around your house and see what switches are left on, what lights are left on, what things can you turn off when you leave the home, just to reduce the footprint as well. Other things that we can do when we're in our kitchen, and we always have waste and stuff like that. We get waste from our food, from kitchen scraps, eggshells, coffee pods, that can all go into a composting machine. I have one at the back. You just crush it down, and it's the best compost for your garden, so that your flowers, your plants just grow and they absolutely thrive and say thank you. So it's about reusing those things that are going to benefit Mother Nature, and Mother Nature will absolutely relish in that as well. So with the trees, so if you consider planting a tree because what trees do is they suck in all the CO2 and they release oxygen. And it's so great for us to breathe. I don't know if you've ever noticed when you're in the city or in an apartment or around where there's so many people and buildings and emissions and stuff, it's really hard to breathe. But you come out to places like this. I'm blessed to be on acreage. I have trees absolutely everywhere around me, and you can breathe. So you can just imagine what that is doing for Mother Nature as well. So encourage you to plant a tree. Also, just be considerate of right now we're all in lockdown. So there's not as many people, like there's no one in the skies, not as many people driving around now and out on the streets. So the emissions are less, and Mother Nature is celebrating an appreciation of that. And absolutely everything is thriving, from plants to flowers to just absolutely everything. So it's just being aware of that, and maybe moving on from COVID and when we're out of lockdown, just being a bit more consciously aware of that, thinking ways that you can reduce using your car, and instead replacing it for a scooter or for a push bike or different things like that you can replace it with, because whatever you're doing, each one of us can create a ripple effect of change and really absolutely help Mother Nature as well. Another tip that I'd like to remind us of is phones. When we upgrade our phones, by upgrading our phones and getting rid of our other ones, if we're not going to recycle the phones that we did have, there might be an animal that suffers as a result of that. So rather than doing that, be mindful, and there are places around that you can recycle your phones. So go and search for places like that as well. And also be aware of palm oil. Palm oil causes deforestation in our rainforests. And, I was just talking about trees and how it's really important to sustain us and for the oxygen and everything. So the last thing we want to do is cause deforestation. But if you go into the supermarket, around about 50% of the products that are in the supermarkets do contain palm oil. So you can find source alternative products that don't contain palm oil, but palm oil is in even skincare, hair care, moisturizer, just so many different things that it is in. So it's about reading your labels and being prepared and going to places like Organica to access your products where you know that it's trusted. We have a toxicologist on board that assesses and scales every single product, so it gives you more choice to decide on what you want to do. But it's just an awareness of actually what is in our products as well. The last thing I want to remind us of is we all can make a difference by using these tips, and I'm sure there's plenty other tips as well. I have a very good friend, Kendall, who was taken back by the impact that we were making on our planet. And when she had her young children or her daughter, she was using disposable nappies. And I know when I had my children, I tried to use cloth nappies for a little while, but in my opinion, they actually are more damaging for the planet because you have to wash them or dry them, etc., and then you use the nappy liners and all that kind of thing. So when you think about that impact that it's making on the planet, sometimes you are better using disposable nappies. However, with disposable nappies, they biodegrade in 200 to 300 years, as opposed to bamboo ones that she's created a solution for that biodegrade in 2 to 3 years. So, just simple little switches that you can do. Those bamboo nappies are just as soft and comfortable and so amazing, just like they feel like the Huggies brand, but it's a completely different brand. So it's about doing your research, coming together, working together to make an impact in this world. And this is not just for Earth Day, this is for absolutely every single day. But Earth Day is a really good reminder. So thank you, Kelly Kingston, for inviting me to participate in this. It's a really good reminder for us to come together, share our tips, and really make a difference in this planet. I'm Tam from Why You Can Too, and soon to be launched Organica.
I hope you enjoyed our our guests so far. We had guests from all around the world sharing their message of kindness and positivity. We're here today on LiveHope to celebrate Earth Day month. We want to make sure that Earth Day is every day, that we create a lifestyle where we live in harmony with our planet and also with all the people around us. We want to create a sense of oneness. And with this pandemic, we realize how connected we are. We're all part of the same tribe, of the same planet, and we need to take care of each other. I want to remind you to donate, because we are raising money to help doctors and nurses from all around the world to get the necessary protective gear. You can do that by going on the website www.livehopefestival.com, or by texting the word HOPE to the number 1619-870-1680. It's very important to take action, because when we act together, we can make an impact. We've noticed how much nature has been healing while this pandemic and while everybody is at home, staying safe, fighting the coronavirus. We've seen dolphins arriving in Venice canals, even a jellyfish appeared in the Venice Canal. We saw animals taking their space on streets, like we saw in Africa, lions sleeping on the streets. They are usually raised full of cars. We also heard that in Milan, finally people can hear birds that usually you don't hear those sounds. That's because nature is taking place and feeling safe. It's healing. We've seen how much the atmosphere is healing. The pollution that we had, especially in the big city like in Milan, completely dropped. So I hope you're enjoying, and we have many more guests from all around the world.
I'm so glad to be here with all of you still. If you're just tuning in, my name is Chante Hart, and you are at the LiveHope Telefest. And this next section is about healing our planet Earth and keeping up the hope, because we need to keep up our strength and move forward in a good way.
Can we, as a global tribe, get our act together fast enough to be able to change our behavior, our collective behavior fast enough?
There is a great potential, because it's not that if everybody has to change at the same time. What we talk about is a critical mass. You don't know how many people have to change for it to spread. But the fact is that when people begin to think differently, begin to act differently, that has an effect on others, it spreads.
Scientists at RPI have found that when just 10% of the population are deeply committed to an idea, their idea will always be adopted by the majority of the society. Now, what's interesting is their mathematical model shows that it's like a spontaneous leap. That is, below 10%, there is no visible progress. However, above 10%, the idea spreads like wildfire.
I don't think it's going to occur first on the whole among the leadership, neither political nor business leadership. I think there are always exceptions, and there are very enlightened political leaders, the enlightened business people. But on the whole, these people have too much stake on the present system, and they're afraid of change, because their own base of power and wealth lies in maintaining the current system. So the change has to come from elsewhere. I don't think it can come from the very poorest people. The very poorest people, maybe 2 billion people in the world, try to survive somehow. They have to get the food and the housing and the job and the healthcare and the education that is a minimum requirement. We can't expect it from that, maybe 200-300 million people who are really the wealthy and the leading classes. It has to come from those who are in between, who have a choice, who are becoming increasingly concerned, and who know that something needs to be done, and the hope is that they will wake up.
I think that you don't have to buy human rights. You're born with equal rights. And it's not just humans that have rights, it's all living things. And so to look at the historical inequities or the structures which have been built up over long periods of time and say that they're immutable is not true. What is true is that there are natural laws, and these natural laws create the atmosphere, the hydrological cycle, the soil fertility, and the biodiversity. And this is the basis of life. And ultimately, when you understand this, you realize this is the basis of wealth. So right now, the economic systems that we have are saying that materialism, the accumulation of derivatives, things which are dug up and manufactured and bought and sold, are the basis of wealth. Well, they're not. That's just an accumulation of materialism. It's actually causing enormous poverty for billions of people and degraded landscapes all over the world. When you understand that the basis of wealth is the atmosphere, the hydrological cycle, the soil fertility, and the biodiversity, And that is the basis of economy. When you understand that, you can't degrade, you can't pollute. To do so would be to have less. So if we want to have more, we want to have growth. We can no longer have growth in an economy which is based on materialism, because it's impossible to infinitely grow based on finite resources. So this is just a logical construct. It's not an opinion. It's that it's impossible to infinitely grow based on finite resources. But where we can have growth is in function. And if function is the basis of wealth, then the future of humanity will be in tremendous shape, because all human effort will go to protect and to conserve and to restore all degraded landscapes on the planet. That's the way to ensure food security, biodiversity, and climate regulation.
At no other time, ever in our lives, have we gotten the opportunity to see what would happen if the world simply stopped. Here it is. We're in it. Stores are closed, restaurants are empty, streets and 6-lane highways are barren. A carless Los Angeles has clear blue skies, as pollution has simply stopped. In a quiet New York, you can hear the birds chirp in the middle of Madison Avenue. Coyotes have been spotted on the Golden Gate Bridge. And because it is rarer than rare, it has brought to light all of the beautiful and painful truths of how we live. And that feels really weird, because it has never happened before. If we want to create a better world for our kids, we have to pay attention to how we feel right now. Imagine we reduced ourselves to the jobs we need, a few we want, and shared the tiny amount of essential labor remaining, so nobody works that much at all. Instead of 70% of people being canned up inside, they share the work being done by the essential workers now. We have enough people at this point and enough automation, which is growing rapidly, that nobody should need to work 8 or 10 or 14 hours a day. It's absolutely exploitive to be slaving away at these made-up bullshit jobs. We could see a world where a 15 to 20 hour week is standard and everybody has their needs met guaranteed. The illusion has been broken. So now we call upon you to take the great pause as an opportunity to reflect and reconsider. Find value in yourself outside of your job and take back your time. Be rebelliously unproductive. Don't listen to the advocates of the abnormal normal when they call you back to the endless toil of business as usual. There is no usual anymore. We can support each other through mutual aid, and together we can be immovable. This is a revolution in lifestyle. A cultural paradigm shift.
In many ways, I'm very proud of the triple bottom line. It's exactly 25 years ago since I introduced the idea, and then 24 years since the People, Planet, Profit formulation. And whether it's Global Reporting Initiative with all of thousands of reporting companies against the triple bottom line, or the B Corporation movement, it's done good work. But my reason for withdrawing it last June was simply to say, if we simply think by balancing off these different dimensions of value creation or destruction, we're going to change the world. We really aren't. It's a useful device, it's a useful tool, but we've really got to think about the systemic dynamics here. And we're going to reintroduce it, but with a slightly different framing, which I think will make sure that anyone who uses it thinks about the responsibility agenda, but how do you regenerate communities, our economies, and critically, our environment, the biosphere. I think what's starting to happen is the mainstream world of companies and investors and governments too are waking up to the fact that we do indeed have a systemic crisis. And they're beginning to look around, rather belatedly, but they're looking around for how do we deal with this? Who's already working on some of that stuff? And I think the B Lab ecosystem, the world of B corporations, are a wonderful place to start that investigation of what do we now need to do collectively to solve these, almost existential
precious resource of Mother Nature, which is water. And we do that in a low impact, low energy consumption, and non-chemical way. We are low cost, and we are able to operate in over 35 different industries very thoroughly, removing uranium, spilled from oil and gas, heavy metals, viruses, bacteria. And again, we do it in a non-chemical way and a natural way, trying to restore the earth and her waters back to her natural form. So that's what we do, and we really are passionate about what we do. When we heard about the situation in the Standing Rock community, we knew instantly that we wanted to be involved and be a pivotal part of trying to find a solution with the other great people that are involved there. I think together we can make a difference and we can solve this problem. And we're very committed to it. We're very committed to you. Thank you so much again for allowing us to be a part of it. We hope to see you all very soon, and have a great LiveHope event.
My name is Andelou Smitsman, and I am the founder and CEO of Earthrise Center. The coronavirus crisis has provided us with an unprecedented time and opportunity to reflect on what is truly important, to reflect on what it is that we let slip away, to reflect on what it is that we sacrificed for a societal model of progress that is clearly not sustainable, not even desirable. So my question is, are we listening deeply to where this crisis could truly be taking us as an opportunity to innovate the very foundations of our societal development, to reprioritize what we make important, to restore what is truly of value, and to make a renewed commitment to our planetary health and well-being first, because our human health and well-being is only secured if we take care of the health and well-being of our planet first. Let us walk this path together in this deeper reflection. Let us truly listen now. Let us really honor all of those who lost their life and gave their life in this crisis by making sure that when limitations and restrictions on our daily activities are lifted again, that we're not going to go back to business as usual, but that we put our energy, our collaboration, and our resources together for a civilizational transformation to bring forth and build a world that works for all and where all of us can thrive together.
This is an evolutionary time. It's been referred to previously by futurists as the tipping point or the great turning. It is a time of crisis with such large ripples of impact that it cannot be ignored. After humanity comes fully through this crisis, things can never go back to the way they were. I do not say this out of despair or of anxiety, but of hope. What we are experiencing is the evolutionary impulse of the planet. Earth's immune system is redirecting humanity to show up and express the fullness of our benevolence and intelligence for the sole interest of the common good. This crisis, our crisis, is the ultimate opportunity and the birth of the next generation of the human species. So this whole experience is new to us. And as we come through this experience, we become then the elders of a global transformation. Okay, and I think that that's really important to say. And it's in the context of conscious evolution as well. I mean, Barbara Marx Hubbard said that there were no elders in this movement of conscious evolution, that we are actually the ones becoming the elders, and it's true here as well. We're becoming the elders of a global transformation. And my question to you then is, are we paying attention to that? And will we answer the call to actually show up as the elders?
Hi, Sally Galvin from Perth, Western Australia. Happy Earth Day. I have just got so inspired to hop on and wish you all a very, very happy Earth Day. Today is the day where we can connect all over the universe and relish in and really congratulate ourselves for being connected and part of this oneness of our universe right now. With the craziness and with the social isolation and with so much destruction and sadness and fear that is engulfing the whole world right now with COVID-19, it's really important to understand that we are all connected. And I think that for me personally, not just me actually, for so many people, we realize that we are all so very connected, all together. And with the fine balance of Mother Earth and nature and the world, I feel that the COVID-19 is the big universal leveler. It has made us appreciate the fine balance of Mother Nature, and it has really, so we live in a world where I truly believe in the universal law of attraction, where there is enough for everybody. But maybe, and this is the way I see, maybe the tip of that has changed, and we've in the Western world particularly, our greediness and our wastage, a waste of resources, a waste of time, a waste of love, a waste of, interacting with other humans, our waste of Mother Earth's resources, really. I'm repeating myself, but that's the truth. The waste of Mother Earth's resources. If we continue on like that, then the universal law of attraction is out of balance. And I feel COVID-19 has definitely, within my life, my community, and anybody that I speak to, really, we've realized that the amount of wastage that we do, and we've reduced it because we actually realize it doesn't take as much for us to live as we once thought, if we reduce our waste. And then you'll have, the universal law of attraction will be at balance again, and there will be enough. We live in an abundant world, and we just need to help each other with the mindset of that, so that we don't waste and so that we are kind. We're kind to the earth, we're kind to ourselves, we're kind to other people. And kindness and love and gratitude, if everybody just grabbed a little bit more of that, if that was the cooler thing for us to have experience, then that would make such a difference in the world. Earth Day to me really means connection. It means connection and love across the universe. And I'm so blessed to live where I live. I have traveled a lot, and I understand that the world's a very small place and we need to protect her. We need to be respectful of her. We need to be respectful of our earth. This is where we live. I also love I am my most happiest when my feet are in the dirt and my hands are in the dirt and I'm in the earth. And that is where I love it, where my children are as well. So mindset is a big one. If we can all learn to ground, center, and still our minds and think clearly, then you will find Mother Earth will speak to us and we will be guided within the realms of the way humans live on a day-to-day. We will be guided to live our best life for the earth and for humans, because we're all one. And I think this crazy COVID-19 time, where this silent virus has been the world leveler, has made it's touched, there's not one single human that has not touched this COVID-19. And it has made us all realize that we really need to be kind to ourselves, kind to each other, and kind to Mother Earth. So I'm passionate about creating grounded, resilient, well-adjusted children to teach them to be kind. And so if we can teach our children from such a young age in the Western world to be kind to themselves, be kind to everybody else, and to be kind to Mother Earth, and arm them with the tools that they need so that they can think clearly and so that they can make good decisions, then they will grow up to become grounded, resilient, well-adjusted adults, and they will parent their children like that, to be kind, to be balanced, to be well-adjusted. And that is my passion and that is my obligation. The ripple effect of that blows my mind. And so that is one of my businesses is the Mind Fit Kids Academy, and I'm very proud to share it with you.
Here at LiveHope, we want to share with you the sense of unity, the sense of tribe, that we're all part of the same tribe. We've been talking Here at LiveHope, we want to share with you the importance of unity, to feel part of the same tribe, but at the same time, to respect the different cultures around the world. We've been talking about the Native American Indians, about the Maori, about the African tribes. It is important to realize, no matter what is your culture, we're all human and we're all part of the same planet, our same home that we want to share and we need to take care of. Today we're also celebrating Earth Day, and we want to be Earth Day every day. Please remember to donate to www.livehopefestival.com. And as we carry on talking about culture, I want to talk to you about something. Are humans really an endangered species? Or are an endangered species? The Yanomami tribe is located in the Amazon basin. The Yanomami civilization has said to have lasted before Christ. In the Amazon basin, there are many endangered species. One of these endangered species are human. Since 1950, the tribe has decreased in half of their population. The Yanomami live the same way now that they did hundreds, possibly even thousands of years ago. They live off of the natural resources and use everything that is available to them. The outside world discovered the Yanomami people in the 1950s. Since 1950, the tribe has decreased in half of their population. Since contact with the outside world, we as a society have introduced diseases and destruction of their habitats. Society is to blame for the decrease of population in the Yanomami tribe because we are not taught how to deal with a civilization that is not as civilized and equipped as us. In the 1700s, when the Europeans migrated across the Atlantic Ocean, no matter what civilization lay ahead of them, they were more superior than them. And that was that. We, as a society, only questioned difference and never accepted. The Spanish told the Mayas, Incas, and Aztecs that they would show them the key to life. They didn't understand that the people of the tribes were already happy and needed no change to their life. The United States today frowns upon any country that is not industrialized, but we never understand why they aren't. The people of the Yanomami tribe are good people. They are very similar to us. They have morals, they understand right from wrong. They also understand the importance of family. They have their own agriculture and they live well off their surroundings and make do with the natural resources. The Yanomami people gather fruits and hunt animals. Also plantains, a type of banana, are a major source of food for these people. When we introduced upon this new world in 1950, we brought infectious diseases that have wiped out large portions of the tribe. So in many ways, some segments of our society can be considered an endangered species. Preserving Earth heritage and culture is of utmost importance as part of a necessary investigation of who all are as a species. Even if you are a billionaire or a family of modest means, knowledge of humanity and its diverse cultures and history reveals key aspects of our identity. It unlocks our enlightenment. Knowing more about humanity and its diversity unlocks our spirit of kindness and unity. We all breathe oxygen. We all need water. We all long for happiness and we all feel fear. No matter what, we must eat, sleep, love, and hope. Welcome to LiveHope. I want to remind you that today, all of this is to celebrate Earth Day and to create a world of unity, of respect, of kindness, where we respect each other, our differences, our cultures, and our planet, all the animals around us. And we are also raising money to help doctors and nurses around the world to get the necessary protective gear. They are our heroes of our time. And while we're at home safe, they are out there risking their lives to protect our loved one. So please remember to donate to www.livehopefestival.com. You can even just send a text message. Text the word HOPE to the number 1619-870-1680. We hope you are enjoying this list of guests that we're bringing to you from all around the world, because we really want to inspire you from everywhere you are in the world to change your lifestyle. This pandemic forced us to stop, to look into ourselves, and to consider what we were doing to our planet. So we want to make sure that we take advantage of this time to change our lifestyle and to make sure that when we go back to life, when we are able to go outside in the world again, we change our way of living in a way that we respect our planet, we take care of the environment, we stop pollution to increase, and we respect each other. If each of us change their daily life, their daily routine, that's how we can change the world. Because every little step that we make, if we make it all together at the same time, we can create a massive impact to the world. For example, we saw when Italy, for example, started their quarantine and everybody got at home. From space, we noticed that in only 2 weeks of no cars and no industry open and working, the air pollution dropped drastically, more than 50%. This is to remind us how precious it is, our planet. When we look at our planet from space, we realize that there's no limit. We're all connected. We're all part of this beautiful ecosystem that is protected by this thin layer of atmosphere. And it is our duty for us and for the future generation to change the way we live in a way that we protect our planet, but also to be kinder to ourselves and with the people around us. We want to make sure that today we bring this message all around the world and we celebrate our hero, the healthcare workers on the front line protecting our loved one. I want to remind you again, we can donate as much as you can to our website www.livehopefestival.com, or simply sending a text message with the text HOPE to the number 1619-8701-680. We're also very grateful for all the artists and the people that join us globally to share their message, their art, their message towards the world that we want to change. We need to make all of us together a change in the world. For example, we need to learn how to respect nature and how to respect the animals around us. We need to remember that we are on this planet for a limited time, and this is a gift. This is our home. We need to take care of our planet, and we need to take care of each other. We're all, as we saw from all the other cultures and tribes from all around the world, part of the same family. And we want to create a global tribe where we all respect diversity, but we celebrate our diversity and respect each other. This is very important, especially for the young generation. This is such a challenging time for them, and it is a moment for them to learn.
It's all one system. It's one quantum system. A non-local, instantly interconnected system. We are a conscious part of a conscious universe. We are one with the others. We are one with the rest of the universe, because all the information in this universe that makes us what we are is the same information that makes the universe what it is. And what I do is what happens to you. What you do is part of me. We are then responsible for each other. We should say that each and every one of us, we are responsible for the evolution of life on this planet.
se rompió, lo que el viento se llevó, lo que se fue y no volvió. Hubo un cambio de color. La tierra lloró, pero nunca derivó la fe del corazón que hoy se levanta en la unión. De la pena colectiva nacerá una nueva vida. De la pena colectiva nacerá una nueva vida. Unidos somos frecuencia poderosa. El amor y el tiempo todo lo transforma. Ven y hagámonos de cenizas rosas, de cenizas rosas. En cada rincón llegará de nuevo el sol, donde la tierra se secó, renacerá una nueva flor. Más allá de los colores que separan las naciones, se hagan una nuestras voces, porque en la fuerza está la unión. Unidos somos frecuencia poderosa. El amor y el tiempo todo lo transforman. Unidos somos frecuencia poderosa. Ven y hagámonos de cenizas rosas, de cenizas rosas, de cenizas rosas. De la pena colectiva nacerá una nueva vida. De la pena colectiva nacerá una nueva vida. Unidos somos frecuencia poderosa. Unidos somos frecuencia poderosa. Unidos somos frecuencia poderosa. Ven y hagámonos de cenizas rosas.
Thank you for shaking us and showing us we are dependent on something much bigger than we think. Thank you for making us appreciate the luxury we lived in, abundance of products, freedom, health, and realizing we were taking it for granted. Thank you for stopping us to make us see how lost we were in the busyness, not having time for the most basic things. Thank you for allowing us to put aside all our problems we thought were so important and showing us what is actually important. Thank you for stopping the transport. The earth was begging us to look at the pollution for a very long time. We didn't listen. Thank you for all the fear. It has been a global disease for years, but not many of us wanted to face it. And now we have to face it and learn how to embrace it with love and with the support of our community. Thank you for this reevaluation of our lives. Thank you as we finally understand what it means that we are all connected. Thank you for the unity between all of us. We knew the world has to change. Thank you for helping us to undermine everything and giving us a chance to build the world from the very beginning.
This virus is part of us. It's between us, in us. It connected us all, either physically or energetically. Gratitude supports the immune system, but also lets us see things from many perspectives. And it's up to us which perspective we will choose, but best is to be aware of all of them.
How's everybody doing? A couple of weeks of this now. Are you feeling like I am? Because I'm one of those types. I mean, I'm an extrovert. I constantly need someone. I'd go to parties, they were fun. Those days are done. Saying hello, I'd hug everyone I know, especially if you're a bro. I can't do that no more. All by myself, don't wanna be all by myself anymore. All by myself, don't wanna be all by myself anymore. Yeah, even my spouse, she's introverted like a mouse. But now she needs to leave the house. She needs to get out. 'Cause now she's all by herself. Usually likes it, but right now doesn't wanna be all by herself. Mostly indoors. Yeah, she's all by herself. No, she don't wanna be all by herself anymore. Lost my voice there at the end.
That was high. I mean,
Hey, is that hot?
No, it's high.
Oh, it was high. It was
Not-
high.
not so
Here's
hot.
the piano solo.
Oh.
Nope, that's the wrong key. Okay.
Yeah. So.
You're welcome.
Oh, look, the hill's playing with you, honey. So anyway, I was like, cheers. Yeah.
By myself, I'm suddenly all by myself indoors.
Things aren't working so well anymore, and it's a lot harder to fully believe in our stories. So we're moving into a different story of self, a different story of the world, a different story of the people. The self of interconnectedness, the self of inner beingness. One thing it means is that these tiny actions may have a significance beyond that we can understand. that logic of the heart that says, yeah, I know that this is a significant act, and I know that everything I do is significant, no longer contradicts the logic of the mind, which had been the logic of separation. And what effect could you, one tiny little being, have with the puny force available to you when the powers that be have so much more force at their disposal? Every act that comes from the understanding of interconnection, of inner being, is a spiritual act and also a political act. By acting from a different story, we disrupt the psychic substructure of our mythology. And we offer an alternative. This is something that's eminently practical. Anytime that we give somebody an experience that doesn't fit into the old story, it weakens that old story. It disrupts it. It could be an act of generosity. It could be an act of forgiveness. Anything that violates that understanding that we're separate and everyone's in it for themselves. Being in service to something larger than yourself. And I would offer that as the formula for accomplishing the impossible. You don't know how to get from here to there, but that thing larger than yourself does. And it arranges these synchronicities, being at the right place at the right time, being in flow. Usually when you experience that, it's when your world is kind of falling apart and you're in this state of uncertainty, and then things like start to flow and then start to work. And we can enter that state when we let go of the paradigm of control and bow into service to this thing larger than ourselves.
This is your home. Planet Earth. A living spaceship flying through the cosmos at 1,000 miles per hour. No matter what type of human you are indigenous to Earth. Earth is foundational to all life and unifies us. So magnificently present and abundant in our experience that we often take it for granted. During this global quarantine, our sense of separation from nature is more pronounced than ever. And yet, while humanity cocoons itself indoors, nature flourishes, breathing a sigh of relief from humanity's persistent extraction. The engine of modern civilization has nearly turned off. And while it's off, we have a moment to consider, do we really want this machine to keep barreling forward in the same way? Before we turn it back on, what would we change? How would we course correct? What do we know now that we got wrong when we built all of these systems? And how can we make small shifts to bring it all back into harmony with nature? What if we decided that proliferating billions of single-use items was simply not an option? What if we considered the full lifespan of everything we created and the impact it will have on our planet for 7 generations? What if we decided to live in the awareness that we are nourished and supported in every moment by the fruits of our earth? We must remember that the water that fills our bodies was birthed by the earth. The air we breathe was first exhaled generously from our friends in the plant kingdom. Our food begins with this and results in this. This is the magic of our beautiful and majestic planet Earth. On April 22nd, we celebrate the 50th anniversary of Earth Day. Earth Day began in 1970 after a major ecological disaster sparked outrage, giving rise to a movement of nearly 20 million people in the United States demanding greater environmental protection. Since then, Earth Day has grown into the largest secular holiday on the planet, with over 1 billion people celebrating it annually in over 190 countries around the world. While the engine's off, this is our moment to step into a new paradigm for humanity, a moment where we recognize our symbiotic nature with our living home, this living being. No matter what your situation is or where you are, we invite you to find a way to connect with nature and give thanks.
Hello everyone, my name's Toni Lontis. I'm an author, a writer, a blogger, and a radio host. I have my own show, Radio Toni, on Radio 4 AUS, w4wn.com, and on BBS Radio. So this morning, the lovely Kelly Kingston rang and asked if I would do a 10-minute video to celebrate Earth Day. And I must confess that for me, Earth Day is every day. We live on a small rural property, and as part of this video, I thought I'd take you for a walk around my property to celebrate Earth Day and what Earth Day means to me. So a little bit about me. Many, many years ago, I was struggling with life, depression, anxiety, and lots of horrible things that had happened in my life. So skip forward to 2014, when my husband and I decided that we wanted to find acreage and somewhere where we could have some animals, grow our own veggies, and have an orchard. We'd looked many times, we hadn't been able to find what we wanted, and then we found this beautiful block. And this beautiful block is where we now have our home. And the story behind this beautiful block is rather special. So in celebration of Earth Day, I'll tell you a little bit about that as well. So many years before we bought this block, I'd looked at it, we'd walked over it, we'd discovered it, and we'd loved it. But it was way outside our price range. Skip forward 5 years, and the block had passed through several owners whose contracts had fallen over, and the elderly owner of the property decided that this was his one last shot to get rid of his existing block of land, the only one that he had left, his favourite block, and he just didn't want to sell it to anyone. When we approached the real estate agent, he said the owner wanted to talk to us, and he wanted to know what we had planned for his beautiful block of land. And so we met on site here, and there was nothing here, no trees, except the big pine tree, which I'll show you later, and a vacant block of land, an old shed, and not much else. So we stood here and talked to the elderly owner, and I described my dreams of having a place where we could be grounded, where we could live with nature, have a garden, some animals, and a place for our beautiful grandbaby and children that were yet to be born to run around. So for me, in celebration of Earth Day, I need to tell you about the importance of being grounded, of being able to walk on grass, to be surrounded by space, and how that's important to our mental health as well as our physical health. At the time when we purchased this block, I was still recovering from chronic aggressive rheumatoid arthritis. I'd been told that I needed to absolutely reduce the stress in my life, and that I needed to embark on healthy eating, clean living, fresh air, and exercise. And that's what this little block offered to us. So we began drinking beautiful filtered rainwater. We slowly planted out the block and the trees grew. We increased the orchard from a few citrus trees to include avocados, apples, apricots, lots of berries, figs, bananas, mangoes, pineapples, and anything else that I could think of that might grow well out here. And so that was the blossoming of our own little space. And as I walk around the garden today, I want to show you some of the beautiful plants that our earth produces and how special they are to me. So I'm going to swap the camera around and hopefully you'll be able to see my garden. So what you're looking at is my beautiful bamboo. The bamboo forms a number of important jobs on our property. Number one, it provides shelter for the animals. In winter, it provides food and foliage for the goats. In summer, it acts like an air conditioner around our property. So the perimeter of the bamboo air conditions our property in the hot Australian summer sun. And then in winter, the goats get to nibble on the bits that we've cut down. So the bamboo surrounds our property. Not only is it a wonderful nature reserve, but we also use the timber from the bamboo for lots of things. Stakes in the garden, huts and shelters for the animals, and because I think that it looks beautiful. So these are clumping bamboo versus running bamboo, and they put their roots deep down into the earth and create that beautiful green foliage around the property. So also coming up, we'll look across our property and see our beautiful goats. Now, our goats are pets. We don't use them for anything else than to help keep us grounded, happy, and healthy. They make us laugh every single day. They love us and show us unconditional love. They respond to us, they follow us, and their antics keep us happy and joyful. So on Earth Day, and particularly in this virus situation, when so many of the humans of the world are locked away, it's the animals that are thriving and loving. At the moment, we have an Earth with less pollution, less congestion, and less humanity out and about, and that has proved a wonderful thing for Mother Earth and nature. So I just wanted to show you, those of you that are living in city and congested areas, what it means to get out and be connected with Mother Earth, to feel the grass underneath your feet, to interact with the fresh air, to listen to the creek. And we're also lucky that we have this beautiful babbling brook of a creek below our property where we can escape and enjoy the solitude. It's at this little creek where I have let go of many negative energies and set them off on their path of forgiveness and to do what they need to do. I've cried many real tears at this beautiful little creek. And as I take you, you can see in the distance the one big pine tree and the one big campanula tree were the only two trees on the property. You can also see the bamboo and the bananas. And as I walk towards the orchard, we pass all of these trees that have been lovingly planted on this earth by us. And I can tell you that these trees provide shelter, food, foliage, and relief from this frantic world. So for me, Earth Day is about celebrating Mother Earth and all that she gives us, and allowing her to give back to us the serenity and healing that we all need. So, happy Earth Day, everyone. May you remember how blessed the earth is that we live on, and may you treat her with respect and loving kindness. Happy Earth Day, everyone. This is Tony Lontis. Bye for now.
We are live with LiveHope to celebrate Earth Day. We want to make sure that Earth Day is celebrated every day. And we create a lifestyle where we all part of the same tribe, we all respect each other, we use non-violent means of resolution, we raise our consciousness to become the best version of ourselves, and also to respect the people around us, to create a world that is different. What happened with this pandemic created a momentum where everybody, for the first time in the history of humankind, are suffering globally with this pandemic. Everybody is at home, everybody is scared, everybody has the time to look into themselves and realize what's going on in the world. Mother Nature so far is being sending a signal that we've been ignoring. From 1970, we've been celebrating Earth Day. But this year is not just a special anniversary, it's a very special occasion because it's for the first time that humanity is united in pain and fear. But we want to make sure that we bring you hope. That's why it's LiveHope. We bring joy and positivity and hope to create a better world for us and for the future generation, where we live in harmony with our planet. We respect our planet, we respect our neighbors. Also, the way we behave in everyday life, that it is not harmful for the people around us. What it means to raise your consciousness. That when we go outside or when we are home, we are aware of what's happening around us, inside ourselves, and around the people that live around us, and we respect them. We want to make sure that this is a good opportunity for the world to listen, to change their behavior for better, to be kind, to be generous, to be sharing, to be joyful.
Hello, everyone. We're still live at the LiveHope Telefest, coming at you from my living room. And I just wanted to let everyone know that after this pandemic is over, we're coming together and we're going to start a revolution. and we're going to take over the world. But in order to do that, we need Indigenous representation, and we need our Indigenous leaders to be represented politically. We need to start electing Indigenous candidates. We need to start voting. If you're not registered to vote, you need to get out there and register and elect our people, because those who are making decisions for us now are not making the right ones, and they're not caring about our people. And so it's time for us to be counted. It's time to get out there, use your voices, use your power, get out there and vote, and start electing Indigenous candidates and start running for office. I'll vote for you if you vote for me.
Então agradeço ao Grande Espírito pela oportunidade de estar presente, por poder realizar esse cântico, esse intercâmbio sagrado. Então vou estar cantando um rezo, agradecer a medicina Nishipu, medicina sagrada, um rezo de poder transformar, de curar dentro da medicina sagrada. Raush, raush. Sere. Oh, shari. Ush.
Hi, I'm Debbie Casagrande, and my personal message is related to our inner connection, our inner peace, and our inner calm. So I'm a mindset mentor, and I'm extremely passionate and driven by mindset. I love human behavior, human research, human potential, and human growth and transformation. And why? Well, there's been many times in my life where I've struggled, where there's been challenges, where there's been hurt, where there's been pain. So I know what that's like. But I also know what it's like to work through all those challenges, to work through the grief, to work through the loss, to work through the trauma, to then be in a space of inner calm, inner contentment, and inner peace. And it's from this space we have the ability to create massive change. Obviously, I'm getting emotional at the moment because I've been on both sides. I know what it's like. But I know now the importance of working on yourself first before you try to fix your world, before you try to fix the earth, before you try to fix a relationship, before you try to fix a career. Our change starts with us. And the minute you make those changes, that's the minute that everything else falls into place. I know that within inner calm, with inner peace, with inner stillness, we have the ability to create whatever we want. And it's from this space that we can change our earth. If we just have a look at the last month or two, the skies have cleared up, the waters have cleared up, people have reconnected, people have taken time out, people have done what is right for them. And it's from this space that the whole world changes with us. Now, I know that our outer world is a reflection of our inner world. And we must start with ourselves. Everything is a reflection. And I also know that once we make our own changes, that we work through all our own changes, that we have inner love and respect for ourselves. That's when we have outer love and respect for the environment that we live in. If we have that true respect, why would we want to live in a place that is not what is in alignment with us? I know that we are part of the human consciousness, but to make changes on the outside, we need to start with those changes on the inside. And I know this is possible. Why do I know this is possible? In the last 13 years, I've chosen to make massive change within my life. And I now live in a space where we have a lot of people come to visit, to stay over, to come for healing, transformation. And the minute they get here, they say that I can just breathe, that this place feels amazing. And I know that I wouldn't have been able to create that space if I hadn't done so much work on my inner world. And now I know how much it reflects on our outer world, or my outer world. So to be living in a space of gratitude, a space of love, a space of openness to look at those deep, dark challenges, that's where we can create change. That's where transformation happens, and that's where growth happens. So my message for you and for the world is start with yourself. I know one person can make a difference. I know one person can make massive change. I know one person can have a huge effect on the earth, the planet, the world, and the universe. For at the end of the day, we are part of a universal consciousness. We are one with the universe. And now it's time to stop putting blame on everybody else and start with ourselves. Make that change within yourself. Have that deep urge to make a difference, but start with yourself first. It's in that stillness that magic happens. It's in that stillness the world, the universe is yours. It's in that stillness that anything is possible. So be the change you want to be. People have said that before, but I understand that now. It's important to start with ourselves, to start healing, to start doing our own inner work. And then all the rest falls into place. I can guarantee you, once things change within you, your inner world changes, your outer world changes. It's a complete reflection. So for now, I would love to thank you for listening. Thank you at this second for being part of my world. To wherever you are on the planet, on the universe, thank you. Many blessings to you. Many blessings to the planet. Change our own space and it will create a ripple effect out to the beautiful earth, the world, the planet, and the universe. My name's Debbie Casagrande. I am a mindset mentor and intuitive life coach. I am completely passionate about it. I help my clients go from chaos to calm. And it's in that space of calm that you can create all the change you want to create. You can find me at www.casagranderesortanddayspa.com.au at this moment. Soon you'll be able to find me at deborahjune.com. For now, I like to thank you and blessings and have a wonderful life.
We are so happy to share with you live all these messages from all around the world. We want to remind you that we are here today live to celebrate Earth Day, but we want to make sure that we celebrate Earth Day every day. And also, during this pandemic, we are helping doctors and nurses receive the necessary protective gear. So I want to remind you to donate to www.livehopefestival.com. We want to promote kindness and unity, the sense of oneness that we're all part of the same tribe. We've been talking about tribes from all around the world, the Native Indian Americans, the people from Aborigines from Australia, Maori, Africa. What we notice that everybody has the same need. Doesn't matter where you are in the world, everybody wants to be loved, everybody wants to feel accepted, everybody wants to feel part of something bigger than them. The importance of family, to have a shelter, to feel loved. So when we see others around us, we need to remember all the time that they are like us. They are like our mirror. If we treat each other the way we want to be treated, the world will change fast. And the same thing happens with nature. If you consider nature our planet, our home, we will definitely take better care of it. Like, we don't trash our houses, so we need to stop trashing our planet, to throw plastic in the oceans, to kill animals, to not respect the environment around us. We want to take this opportunity on Earth Day, during the anniversary of Earth Day, to share this message and to inspire everybody and young generation that the world can be different. We can go back to life after this pandemic ends with a different mindset. We want to change the way that we see the world and we see each other. And we want to raise our consciousness to make sure that we use non-violent means of resolution to face the problems in the world. We can use our intelligence and our brain to face the problems that the world is facing and make a change. We need to protect our planet. It is so important that this message gets shared. And we want to remind you that today we have all these wonderful artists and people that share their time, their talent, their message from all around the world, because we have to support the healthcare workers that are on the front line protecting our loved one. And we need to lift their spirits. We need to make sure that they feel part of a community, that we appreciate their work and what they're doing. This is very important. So please donate to the website www.livehopefestival.com. I also am very grateful for all and share comments with us. We are here to feel part of a big community, of a global tribe. We want to make sure that we come across after this as a united global nation. Also, it's very important that each of us here live feels connected. It is important to keep distancing from each other, to protect ourselves from what's happening in the world with the virus, but we don't have to forget that we need to stay in contact with our loved one. So thanks to the social media and our technology, we are able to stay connected 24/7. This is for the first time that in the history of humankind, the world at the same time is connected. It's such a beautiful place to be. We need to see the positive side of what's happening. Everybody is waking up. Everybody is observing what's happening to their life to change for the better. We don't have to go back to the way it was. We need to go further.
Just gonna light some sage for those who are being affected negatively, those who have lost a loved one, everyone out there that's going through transformation during this time. Just want to send some prayers your way and some good energy and some hope, and just to let you know that we're all in this together. We're gonna get through this in this time of transformation.
I wanna write a beautiful song song that brings hope and peace and love to everyone. I want to be the change that we need. These choices we're making, the future it's changing now. I have small hands, I have small feet. How can I make any change at all? Oh, if I stand tall, if I stand strong, maybe someone will join in my song. I'm one voice in an ocean of sound. How can I be any change at all? If I stand tall, give it my all. Maybe someone will join in my song. We all join in heart, mind, soul. We all join in hand, young and old. The earth that we're living, the life that she's giving will go on and on for all that we take, mistakes that we make. Her heart is aching, her body is shaking now. I have small hands, I have small feet. How can I make any change at all? Oh, if I stand tall, if I stand strong, baby, someone will join in my song. I'm one voice in an ocean of sound. How can I be any change at all? If I stand tall, give it my all. Maybe someone will join in my song. Just one voice, just one sound, just one voice to make this world go round and round and round and round, sound round and round and round, to make this world go round and round, stand up and round and round, stand up and round and round, build it around to make this world. I'm one voice in an ocean of sound. How can I be any change at all? If I stand tall, give it my all. Maybe someone will join in my song. I'm one voice in an ocean of sound. How can I be any change at all? If I stand tall, give it my all. Giving my all. Maybe someone will join in my song. Oh, maybe someone will join in my song.
Bill Reed's framework really helped me to understand sustainability in a different way, showing that as we move from business as usual, the unsustainable practice, to green, which is just tweaking our behavior a little bit, being a little bit less bad, but still having a negative impact, to sustainable, 100% less bad, but doesn't actually give back and restore the damage we've already done on this planet. We're moving beyond sustainable design to restorative design, which means reforesting, creating new ecosystems, but it's still within the mindset of man over nature. So the next step beyond that even is reconciliatory design, which we reconcile the relationship between humanity and nature, include culture in nature, and create a world where our designs express that. And even beyond that, we move towards regenerative design, which is creating cultures that are able to work creatively with disruptions rather than to avoid them, to be resilient to change, because change is the only constant that we have on this planet, and be able to hand over to the next generation a richer, more regenerative, more resilient system than we received from the previous. So the idea of moving beyond sustainable design to regenerative design is key in the move towards a sustainable culture.
An entirely different world. There's a world before Corona, and there's a world after Corona. And everybody that's out there waiting, basically saying, we're going to wait this out and then it's going to go back to normal, will be heavily disappointed, right? I read up on this yesterday, and Bill Gates has 18 months for a vaccine, right? Other people are saying 2 years for kind of an economic recovery. So you may be able to go back to a restaurant, you may be able to go into a small venue, but traveling like we used to, 1,000 people events, music, people are suffering for money. This is a real deep cut, right? And this cut requires leadership. It requires us to do things that we didn't used to do before, like this, right? This is what we're doing now, right? So we are working remotely, which is bizarre when you think about it, because it's very hard to actually connect with people. Like I do usually on stage, I see people crying or falling asleep, and I can react to it here, but I can't see you, right? So I think this is a new way of working that requires different kind of leadership, right? And I've recently started calling this the kind of area that we're in right now, not the Great Depression, which some people are saying, or the Great Recession, but I'm calling this the Great Transformation. I think we're going to take all the pieces of the ecosystem that we had before, money, healthcare, government, security, safety, energy, and all of that is in the process of reboot, right? Just imagine, for example, the role of government. How dramatically that will be enlarged in the future, whether we like it or not. I mean, that's, of course, if we have an autocratic government, that could not be such a good thing, right? But the role of government is growing, right? And this is crucial. I think we can expect that to be a major, major thing in the future, this sort of great transformation of things that's coming. And I think it's really quite clear, this quote here from Milton Friedman, which I don't usually like quoting, but Milton said this years ago, in I think the 60s, right? Only a crisis produces real change. And when that crisis occurs, the actions that are taken depend on the ideas that are lying around. And that's what leadership is to me. The ideas that are lying around today, we have to put them out there, because this is the time where people are going to say, what is lying around, right? What can we do that is different than before? We're not going to go back to the old normal from last year, no matter what we're saying in terms of economic projection.
As I write this letter, my dear child, know it came from my heart, my experience, scrapes and falls, fumbling to the light, Smiles and the tears, miracles in the nick of time. Life is beautiful, don't be fooled. It's heaven on earth. It's why we chose to be here, to experience love, grace, expansion, lessons. But the time for talk is done. Planet Earth is under attack by greed and deceit. Read between the lies. Take the veil off your eyes. The times call for us to rise. Be proud of who you are. Stand tall. Be brave.
Welcome to Earth, my love. This place has it all. The good, the bad, and the snuggly. There are cities and farms, towers and temples, oceans and mushrooms. There are amazing people we call goats and real goats too. Love is here on Earth and hate is just another name for misplaced pain. This is a strange ball of water and fire, full of war and peace all at once. Even you and me, we come from the earth and we return to it. It's all an adventure with no destination and no beginning. Maybe you'll receive this letter someday.
Hey, is that the Abelman? You planted 1 million trees in one day with a song.
How'd you know that? But wait, I've seen you in my kid's storybook, right?
Yep, but I have to say, I've been so down lately. The news is so crazy.
Oh my God, same here. I was just writing a letter to process it all. For a new book of love letters to my child and practices for families everywhere to get through these times.
What? I was just writing a letter inspired by one of my students, but I'm sending this out to all the kids of the world.
I wish my letter was a wish.
Come true, no time to waste. Without her, this
it's the fate of the universe. A flower and plot twist until she loves me and the kids. But everything on earth has been big. Coronavirus, TikTok, those lights, video flicks, flop.
Click, clock, and politics are caught buying life and basic science.
Fact is, it's also fossil foolish. We have a decade to flip this all the switch, eat your local spinach. Or we're all finished, like the apocalypse. Oh no, it's the true love to find. It's love, it's true nature. Nature, it's true love, potion number 9. It's true love to find. It's love, it's true nature. Nature, it's true love, potion number 9.
It's 5G versus 5D, mandatory versus choice. It's fear and hate versus love and kindness.
It's a chill, the planet type-ish. Wars over nature, all nurture is a football field blitz.
Man can't do this without a woman's hips.
No babies without ladies, whether it's blood or Crips, whether it's GOP or Democrats.
Artificial or artificial intelligence. Can this be the year we make the change to make the planet our first pick?
Into a new Super Bowl, and it's the ignorance, loves and doing nature, isn't it? Nonviolent communication, circle of fence.
Here, the social, emotional intelligence, a victory without vengeance.
The V is not for vendetta. It's the flick of the wrist like a wrist switch. It's the true love to find. It's love, it's true nature. Nature, it's true love, potion number 9.
A wise man once said the past was your destiny, the present is life, the future is a blank slate.
It's the true love to find. It's love, it's true nature. Nature, it's true love, potion number 9.
It's your choice, so pick your fate to be happy, healthy, and free. A sovereign being, a protector of the planet we call home. We send you this message in a plastic-free bottle vestige.
Letters arriving to our great-great-grandkids announcing we made love our friend first. R.I.P. hate, thanks to forgiveness.
Life became a breakdancing,
slow waltzing,
salsa spinning,
whirling dervish, mending the broken wreckage. I'll take a glass of tikkun olam at the wedding of knowing, yes, Gaia is my boo in a blue and green dress.
Blessed.
Blessed, blessed, it's the true love to find. It's love, it's true true love potion number 9.
Your mind is powerful. Your thoughts can create your reality. So stand firm in your truth, purity of heart.
Is the true love to find? It's love is true nature. Nature is true love potion number 9.
We're always with you. As resilience, we rise like a phoenix.
Sending out this message.
This is Resilience. Learn more about ways to make a difference on this planet and combat climate change. Track your zero waste sustainable actions and inspire others to do the same. Visit rbrorg.org to learn more and create your free account today. Check the description below and subscribe.
We have a need for actually having physical connectivity. People love the opportunity to get to know their neighbors. It is so simple and so profound. People want to connect with people who live in the same place.
When I was growing up, you kind of relied on your neighbors.
This was going to be something totally new because I was going to have to knock on people's doors who I didn't know.
If I collaborate with other people, it's easier to change my habits.
In meeting with your neighbors every time, you realize that the most important commodity that you can have, if you can call it that, is your relationships with the people around you.
The cities are where change is going to happen, and we can do it one neighborhood at a time.
My dream is that we'll reinvent our cities, reinvent our quality of life, reinvent the planet, and build the future that we dream of.
I want to save the planet for future generations. You know, I have a son. He hopefully someday will have a family of his own, and they will have a family of their own. And it just goes on and on. I want the human race to continue.
Victory is just a matter of organization. And that's what this is. It's blocks organizing, which is the most basic way you can organize beyond your own household. It can't be stopped.
So just imagine the world transforming one block at a time.
Well, hello. Sanibonani. My name is Pinky Mjali. I'm a singer-songwriter, and I do mentorship programs. Well, I work at Durban Music School, where I mentor the young people, especially the most vulnerable ones. I teach them how to sing, how to dance, and how to present themselves, especially on stage. So we have fun together. Now, I would like to sing you my favorite song. It's called Plea for Africa. Enjoy it.
Hey you, wake up. Our planet is at a huge risk. We are facing the biggest challenges of all times. Due to climate change, mass extinction, political instability, huge unemployment rates, social unrest, and high uncertainty about the future at a global scale. There are so many challenges in today's world that we need to take action. But there is also a bright future ahead. History has shown us time and time again that there will always be a small group of pioneers, builders, and innovators that can transform the world through their dreams and vision for a better future. The same way we controlled fire and ice to cook and freeze our food to better manage our nutrition, we also harnessed the power of electricity so we could light up our future. We invented boats, cars, and planes so we can travel fast and safe. We controlled advanced chemistry and biology so we can cure diseases and live longer. Through rapid advances in exponential technologies such as artificial intelligence, 3D printing, synthetic biology, and nanotechnology, we are dematerializing, demonetizing, and democratizing energy, food, healthcare, and education to the point where each will soon be accessible to every man, woman, and child, anywhere at near zero cost, and will catalyze a new world full of abundance and prosperity. Yes, we are crazy enough to believe that together we can transform the world for a better future, designing a new type of civilization, solving the world's biggest challenges. So we will do it. We can build new tools. So we will do it. We can design a new type of civilization. So we will do it. Are you ready to transform the world for a better future? Open EXO.
All right, here we go.
Well, love, it's a burning thing, and it makes a fiery ring. Bound by wild desire, I fell into a ring of fire. Well, I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher. And it burns, 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 that ring of fire, that ring of fire. Well, the taste of love is sweet when hearts like ours meet. I fell for you like a child. Oh, but the fire went wild. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher. And it burns, 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 that ring of fire, that ring of fire, that ring of fire. It's a ring of fire. Little Johnny Cash for y'all. Try to brighten the day up, evening up here. I'm at Duck Creek here in Hocking County, Ohio, a place we put a music festival on normally in the summertime. It's been canceled due to COVID-19, as I'm sure a lot of the things in your life have been. So I'm being part of this to try to, support people on the front lines, make sure people have enough protective equipment, and especially the people out there doing their jobs still day to day and putting themselves at risk. So we hope everybody's staying safe out there. And I'm just going to try to play some songs for y'all to make everything a little bit better, because that's what we all are just trying to do. Everybody's doing their own thing and doing their part to get on with life and help everybody else do the same. So I'll do a couple songs for you, wrote for y'all. This one I call Cornbread and Beans. Where were you on Friday night when I was lying in bed? Blew around for a drink beer and I was holding my aching head. And I was trying to get some cornbread, I was trying to get some beans, trying to get a biscuit, I couldn't stand to be. And I said, get on out of here, you dirty bum. Where were you on Sunday morning when I was driving to work? Driving around the whole dang town acting like a jerk. And I was trying to take a left and you were trying to take a right. Trying to take a signal, you were looking for the light. And I said, Sunday driver headed for a crash. Where were you on Thursday morning when I was cutting up wood? Going around the back of the shed, I was doing the best that I could. Well, Mom was in the kitchen, cooking eggs and fried bacon. I was trying to get a biscuit, but it was breakfast for the taking. I said, safety driver headed for a crash. That's Cornbread and Beans for y'all there. I wrote that one about small city life, I guess, here in Hocking County. And I guess while I'm on the subject, the songs that I wrote and songs about small city life in Hocking County, we'll do another one here. I wrote this one, recorded it with my band, Hocking River String Band. And I call this one Briars in the Fence Row. Briars in the fence, wrote the dog, cut 'em down. Briars in the fence, wrote the dog, go around. Briars in the fence, wrote the dog, cut 'em down. Briars in the fence, wrote the dog, go around. Well, I've been stepping sideways, trying to get some road beneath my feet. And Mama's been working all day beneath the apple tree. And Daddy's been working all day out in the field. And Sister's been singing and cooking, making our next meal. And it's 7 miles to go until another town. 7 miles to go, I think I'll turn around. It's 7 miles to go until another town. 7 miles to go, I think I'll turn around. Well, I've been stepping sideways, trying to get some road beneath my feet. If you're going my way, that's the only way I'd wanna be. And all these city lights, they look just fine. But me, I think make my home on the Hockin County line. Briars in the fence, wrote the dog, cut 'em down. Briars in the fence, wrote the dog, go around. Briars in the fence, wrote the dog, cut 'em down. Briars in the fence, wrote the dog, go around. Stay safe, everybody. Enjoy.
Standing tall, savage dreams they will come true for the earth and the people small. I'm savage with honesty and purity. Savagely blessed. Savage in me is wild and free. I'll stand tall when the others will rest. Savage, savagely beautiful, beautiful. Savage, savagely strong. Savage, savagely beautiful. Use that word as an attack on me. You savage, you don't come around. You see savage and slavery. Words hurt, but the savage is strong. My heart's are savagely powerful. It makes my heart take stronger. I'll savagely defend the original ways so our children live longer. I'm savage, savagely beautiful, beautiful. Savage, savagely strong. Savage, savagely beautiful, beautiful. Savagely strong. My savage heart beats with primal love, with a savage mother's heartbeat. This savage is walking the long red road, and savage sage all around me. Savages lure with spirit and strength, wind, rain, and snow. Protect our mother from mankind. minds to excessive pacing. No, I'm savage, savagely beautiful, savage, savagely strong, savage, savagely beautiful, savagely strong. Hey oh, hey yeah, 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 hey the new generation is savage. It is a saving age. The savage will ravage and stand by her and rid the world of hate. Savage guards the waters and it fights for air. Savage in me protects with peace all that are living here. I'm savage, savagely beautiful, savage, savagely strong, savage, savagely beautiful, savagely strong.
Did you know the word politics comes from ancient Greek polis, the city-state, in which the first kind of democracy was carried out by its citizens? They, like us today, identify problems and discuss them. We do it on the streets and in bars, and sometimes begrudgingly at Thanksgiving dinners. In Athens, the citizens all came together on a designated hill outside of the city to discuss current issues and create policy solutions. Every free man, literally only free men by the way, had a say and a vote to decide on a policy for each issue. Thus, word on the street was transformed into politics. This input from citizens into policymaking is what we call direct democracy. Modern technology has made a public space that all citizens can inhabit possible. Instead of on a hill outside the city, we may meet in cyberspace. We can discuss events online to determine issues that warrant policymaking. Collaboration tools, of which Wikipedia is but one small example, can facilitate ways in which many people can have an input on policies. And computers and modern cryptography can tally votes and the delegation of votes so we can decide on those policies. This way, all citizens could partake in policymaking once again, much like on the Agora, the hill outside of Athens.
Hi, I'm Kara Stonehouse from the Hague Center for Global Governance, Innovation and Emergence. And I'd like to talk today about meshworking and its potential for guiding us through the transition to the new society that we really want to create together here. If we orient ourselves on the two loops model of systems of influence, we can see that the dominant system is reaching a peak or a crumbling or a destabilization point. The pioneers, there's lots of pioneering efforts going on, and it's time to really pull them together into a coherent system that can really become the new system of influence. Meshworking is a process of bringing people together who represent all the different influencers and stakeholders in the system to create a coherent whole, a plan that we can all enact together for our common aims for the greater good of the system. The process can be simplified down to this model, where the major steps are call, convene, clarify, co-create, and celebrate. At the beginning of the process, the main focus when we're convening is building trust and deepening understanding. So the participants are getting to know each other and where everyone stands, what their roles are, and their shared and individual purposes. And we're deepening understanding by learning with the different perspectives of all the different players in the room. In the center of the process, we're clarifying. So as we've been going through this deeper process together, it starts to become apparent what the root problem is of the issues that we're addressing. Usually it's some sort of wicked problem in a geography that we're tackling, and the vision or the common work that we can do together starts to become more clear as well, how we can focus as a collective. The next phase is moving into prototyping and co-creating together. So based on the map we create of what conditions need to be met to achieve our systems change, it makes it easier to decide which activities we want to work on together to prototype. My vision is that we create a suite of meshworks, one in each of the 12 sectors of this World Summit, and also the final integrating meshwork to bring it all together into one coherent system that we can all be building together, to really be aligned on the same page, building this system of influence that people can really start joining up and living into, and eventually even becoming a real system that becomes self-sustaining in that way. Could be possible.
It is time to dream a new dream. In our new dream, the rivers, lakes, and creeks run crystal clear, free of toxins. The air is clean and pristine. Our forests are home to many creatures, and the trees provide us with the oxygen we need. Our soil is healthy, and our oceans teem with fish and sea life. Diversity once more flourishes in all places on Earth. In our new dream, we are not masters of nature, but lovers of Mother Earth, and we listen to her voice in the wind and the water, the mountains, stones, and streams. In our new dream, children never go to sleep hungry or afraid. In the new dream, we love our neighbors and have empathy and compassion for those that live far away. We invite them to visit us, and when we visit them, we thrill to our similarities and wonder at our differences. We treat all earthlings, animals, children, women, and men with dignity and respect. In our new dream, we work at what we love. We study what interests us. We create art, poetry, and music. We value caregiving above all else. We heal ourselves through our care for one another. We feel the earth between our toes, and we tell stories that sustain and entertain us. The choices we make allow our children to play, to grow up, and to love one another. In the new dream, we finally understand that we are all one. Come, dream with us. If we dream the new dream together, it will come true. We are dreaming with the heartbeat of the earth.
We're here live on LiveHope to bring you joy and positivity and share the sense of unity. We've been talking about cultures from all around the world and how it's important to make sure that we know culture to feel the sense of unity. We spoke about the native Indian of American, for the Aborigine in Australia, for the tribes in Africa, and now with the Maori in New Zealand, and now we want to talk about the Eskimos. The term Eskimo is slowly being replaced by the Canadian term Inuit or Yupik. Each of these terms is used by different settlements of Eskimos. In Canada, Greenland, and northern Alaska, the Eskimos identify with Inuit or the subgroup in Inupiat, while Yupik refers to the Eskimos inhabiting Alaska and eastern Siberia. The term Eskimo is considered derogatory in some areas, especially Canada and Greenland, since it is perceived to translate to eaters of raw meat. In Algonquian languages, there exists a third group known as the Aleut, who inhabit the Aleutian Islands and who are closely related to the Eskimos. The most closely related group to the Eskimos are the Mongolian people, inhabiting Eastern Asia. In stories of shamans, there is a time of crisis and they are expected to resolve, alleviate, or otherwise give resolution or meaning to the crisis. This crisis often involves survival against the natural elements or disputes between people that could end in death. In one such story, a hunter kidnapped a man's daughter, and a shaman described in terms of belonging to the man. The shaman pulled the daughter back with a magic string. Every culture throughout human history has developed some type of folklore, and most of these stories were meant to explain away fears about the unknown. For example, some modern Americans believe in Bigfoot, but most people are convinced that this creature does not exist. For the ancient Inuit people, their mythological creature to fear and stand in awe of was called the Palupiluk. This word translates into monster, and tales about its horrific actions were used to keep children from wandering far away. According to the early legends, Palupiluk lived under the water, and this twist mixture of a humanoid figure monster was said to drag children to an icy grave. The truth seems to be independent of us. That's why all cultures have adopted ways to cope with fear, celebrate joy, find ways to give to others who are in need of help. Because our relative truth seems to give us an opportunity to recognize that we don't have the perspective of the full picture. We don't know things that we didn't get exposed to. We just fill in the missing gaps with cultural beliefs and traditions. That's why observing a specific culture different from our own reveals how others deal with the unknown and the uncertain. Today, we have realized with the help of global connectivity that we all feel and react to the threat of a viral infection in more similar ways than differences. The truth is that we are all on this planet together. We are affected by what happens to the planet and its resources. I hope that you are enjoying our global efforts to entertain you and provide you with substance, different from much of the negativity that is so much on offer elsewhere. We are here to inspire you and lift your spirit. We give you love and light. LiveHope, bringing you hope for all. Donate now and save lives. Text this number 1619-8701-680. Text this word all in uppercase. Hope.
So let's start thinking about the future, thinking about what's going to happen next. What are the next steps? What are we going to do to be prepared for next time? What are we going to do to prepare our children for our future generations? And I know everyone is thinking about what's going to happen next because nobody really knows. But it's time to think about the future and create some goals that are going to be realistic in this way of life and create a new dream.
We come from warrior blood, us men. So that feeling that you have at times when you're angry and you're upset, that goes generations back. When we had to fight for our women and our children and our elders.
The last of a dying breed, with dreams of being free. Hooked up to the tree to breathe, bleed my sins away. Future's not tomorrow but today. See death creeping around the corner. Call the coroner on another fallen warrior in the land of the forgotten. Bad seeds already rotten. Popping pills to fill the void of death knocking. You can guarantee the feds watching, cause we grew up around these revolutionaries who went to Wounded Knee to get their hearts buried. Raised the hustle once I see my mama struggle. Born in the heart where our chiefs bled, where the water tastes like lead, where we deal with these alcoholics and meth heads. Fed lies from the school system, misinterpret Thanksgiving, teach history like it's fiction. What's written ain't fact. We take down these flags, raise an eagle staff. I'm a warrior, last of a dying breed, with dreams of being free, hooked up to the tree to breathe.
Fighting to live, living to die, till I'm with my people up in the sky. Till I'm with my people up in the sky.
Yo, I said I'm really on my worst behavior, hoping to find strength in prayer. Creator got my back with Crazy Horse, my savior. Lost in illusions, conscious decisions, lost in confusion. My people prostituting, traditions losing values, what we doing? I'm rising from the bottomless pits, where the blind grip closed fists with cold fists. My young kids are crying. I'm trying, fighting, but we keep on dying. I'm sick of seeing people sick, healing in bottles of 80 proof. Been fighting wars since 1490 deuce. You want the truth? I'll speak existence in this booth. My homies in the Senate count coup. What's new? So motherfucker John Wayne, motherfuck your campaigns. I'm still in acid rain, spit more heat than hell's flames. I'm a warrior to the death of me, fight until there's nothing left in me. Cops killing, no wonder why my homies stay strapped. Fuck repping the state, I got my people on my back. Last of a dying breed, with dreams of being free, hooked up to the tree to breathe. Hooked up to the tree to breathe. Fighting to live, living to die, till I'm with my people up in the sky. Till I'm with my people up in the sky.
My song is called Plea for Africa.
Give a thought to Africa, neath the burning sun. There are hosts of weary hearts waiting to be won. Many lives have passed away, and in many homes there are voices crying now to the living God. Tell the love of Jesus on the hills and waters. God is Africa and the sons and daughters.
Hi, I'm Liana Allison, and it's an absolute privilege to be a part of this video series. I'd like to show my gratitude towards the Earth and Earth Day for what it's done for us as a collective, as we are as human beings. Earth Day has made such a big difference to people's awareness in all sorts of different ways, cultural ways, through environmental changes, through learning new and different ways to be more respectful of the earth. And I see that as this is also, it's not just about the earth, it's also learning to be more respectful and considerate to us as human beings. Doesn't matter who we are, doesn't matter what's going on, we all deserve a form of respect and awareness. So Earth Day for me is about increasing our awareness, increasing our availability of ourselves, heart and mind, to not only the earth but to all of humanity. To be able to really be conscious in our choices, so we're not reactive, so that we're able to clean up our act and clean up our personal act, because really we might want to have a huge impact on how we take care of our earth, but not all of us can do that. So if we take responsibility for our own earth beneath our feet, our environment, our home around us, our daily lives, and we become really aware and share that as leaders of that for the future generations, we're doing an amazing job. And sometimes that's all we need to do. Have that self-awareness, to have the self-responsibility to really take care of our environment, and on the earthly level and also on the humanity level, to be really making conscious choices, whether it's environmental, whether it's responsibility, whether it's taking a stand on something, but from a place of response rather than reaction. Reaction just fosters anger, and anger is great when you direct it in a really conscious way, but when it's unconscious, it can be really destructive. So being really self-aware and self-activating is so great for the earth. And Earth Day has brought that to us in spades. Like it's really been such an amazing initiative to have the world come together in its own, each one of us in our own personal way, to make a difference, to improve who we are so that we can improve our world. And I wish this to continue for you all in your own way, each day, not just on Earth Day, but each day taking a stand for what's the right thing to do for our own self-care and for the Earth's self-care. Because we have to take care of ourselves to be able to then offer more to the Earth. So well done to you all. And just to let you know, I'm a mentor. I do emotional mastery and empathic leadership. And this is why I am absolutely passionate about people being self-aware, to be emotionally intelligent, so that we can get the best out of ourselves to continue to be the help that we have already been, and to take new initiatives into the future. So thank you, and have a wonderful Earth Day.
We are live today on LiveHope to celebrate Earth Day, to celebrate our planet, to celebrate humanity. We are also here to raise money for doctors and nurses from all around the world to receive the necessary protective gear to fight COVID-19. We are live to bring you hope, joy, and positivity. We want to thank all the artists that came and joined us live from all around the world with their music, their messages, their joy, their talent. We hope you enjoyed, and we will be back with more artists from all around the world. So please remember to donate to www.livehopefestival.com, and we will see you again live at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. See you soon.